And we live.
We're live. The mic's on. All good. Audio's nice and working.
We're starting with the mic on this time. It's big dubs
look
for
at
us. Improvements. What's going on, Dopemon fans? Ryan Alex back again for day 2 of the draft. Rounds 2 through whenever we stop. We're not sure yet. Depends how we're feeling in round 6. A few hours from now. But yeah, we're going to start off from last night. Strong night last night. Appreciate everyone who came out and hung out with us. But yeah, we're still going. We're going to be good.
I'll do a little quick recap of the first round before.
Sure.
Of course, to everybody's surprise, nobody saw this one coming. Connor Bedard, first overall. Wow, that was a shot in the dark.
Real risky pick.
Yeah, that I don't know. His wasn't first on my list. Of course, we're joking. We're kidding. Connor Bedard, obviously a generational talent himself.
Yeah, Chicago made off with a couple really good players. Last night, Oliver Moore again, 19. Leo Carlsson going second was kind of surprised. David Reinbacher, I've been watching a lot of the discourse on like Habs Twitter.
Yeah,
and they hate it.
Mad.
They're very mad. And I kind of don't blame them, but like also, come on.
I do blame them. Yeah, no, it's a good pick.
Yeah.
They can be mad. Oh no, we could have picked them at 9th or 12th. But like, you know what? Maybe you don't know what happens on the draft floor. You don't know the types of trades they're trying to make. Maybe they did try to move down and they got lowballed on everything and they said, you know what? We're just going to take the guy who works for us. And I think Reinbacher is going to be an amazing fit for Montreal. I think just watching him play is going to be a great partner for Lane Hudson one day. I think that's perfect. I don't try to like get too much into like the head coaching stuff in the lines, but like no, that's going to work.
Because you never know what the team's going to look like 3 years from now.
Yeah. But I try to focus heavily on defensemen myself, and I see good pairings. I definitely see that as a good chemistry there.
Yeah, I love Dmitry Simashev to Arizona. I didn't think a team would do it, but a team did. Mm-hmm. He definitely deserves to go here, in the top 10. I just didn't think with the forward-heavy draft that we would see a guy like Reinbacher and Simashev taken back-to-back like that, 5'6". That was a little surprising. Matvei Michkov is a Philadelphia Flyer. That's wild. That's mainly what Montreal fans are mad about. Yeah. The fact that Michkov was there, and you need just the extreme talent that Matvei Michkov is, and Ryan Leonard too is very good, and Zach Benson taking it a little bit later.
And I feel like we're saying it a lot, where a lot of teams, I'm like, oh, they could have traded down, but who was willing to trade up?
Yeah,
right. And when this starts to happen, where you get to 15, 16, 20, Oliver Moore at 19, who had Oliver Moore dropping that far? And so if you're Chicago, you say, why would I trade up and give up an asset if the guy's just going to fall to me?
Yeah.
So, I see a lot of cases where teams aren't willing to just trade up. So it's hard to trade down.
Yeah. First time since 2007 there were no trades in the first round, which was kind of surprising. We were kind of waiting for a shoe to drop at some point, especially on the Alex DeBrincat front. Yeah.
As a Sens fan, I was really hoping that we'd get a first-round pick. Ottawa, they didn't have one this year. Maybe they gave it up for Jacob Chikrin. I think it was a pretty good trade, but still, it's a deep draft, and we'll see, though, if maybe there is something out there for Ottawa still. Maybe they make a trade for, a pick next year or whatever, because DeBrincat is still an RFA for them. They can qualify him. They can hold on to him for, a couple weeks into free agency until they get that deal down with a team. Maybe a team says, hey, I want to sign a couple more of my own, contracts. Look at players I have, we have already on the roster before we, add a player like DeBrincat. So maybe there's a couple pieces that need to move first, and we'll see. So
maybe we'll see something happen today. Who knows? A couple other, I think, really good picks. Pittsburgh with Braden Yeager. Love that pick for Pittsburgh. Team that's kind of on like a pseudo rebuild on the fly kind of thing, especially with the new front office, new philosophy of doing things. Braden Yeager could be, a guy to put with Sidney Crosby or Malkin at the tail end of their careers in a year or two, and put up 30 goals in his rookie year just because he's playing with one of those two.
And also to help give one of them, or both of them, a bang at the end of, their career or something. Let's say, they're slowing down, and you put them with a guy with a lot of youthful energy like Braden Yeager, and he scores a lot. Give him a last couple seasons where he scores a lot of points. He kind of Joe Thornton it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've slept on it. I'm not that mad about Easton Cowan. I like Easton Cowan. I'm not mad about it. I trust Wes Clark and the scouting, I forgot his name for a second, and the scouting staff in Toronto. Brad Treliving, I don't think had anything to do with this. This was all Wes Clark, the team that's been here the whole time scouting. I bet what happened is we saw Treliving kind of frantically on the phone just before he made that pick. I bet they were trying to trade down, but like you said, you get lowballed, you don't get what you want. Teams didn't want to get up into the 20s. And you know what? They went, screw it. We're taking the best player available to us, which, to the Leafs was Easton Cowan. And you know what? I don't hate Easton Cowan's game. He's, upon further reflection and thinking on it last night, in the moment I was mad because I had just missed out on Callum Ritchie, and Callum Ritchie is my boy. Or Andrew Crystal, but yeah. Hey, boys. Upsan.
Oh my god. Good to see you, buddy.
I'm trying to be okay with this. I'm trying to be okay with Easton Cowan upset.
Who says no?
Who says no, honestly? The Leafs, probably.
We should make that a tweet right now.
Yeah, someone should tweet that out, 100%. Upsan. Dang it.
I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, me too. It threw me right off that comment.
Easton Cowan. Yesterday, I talk a lot when I'm judging and ranking and scouting a player. I put a lot of consideration into their growth. And Easton Cowan's a guy that was on nobody's radar to start the beginning of the season, and he made it himself. And then leading into the playoffs, he stepped up, report. Yeah, he stepped up and he really proved that he's worthy of being, maybe a second round kind of pick. And I think that Toronto says, hey, you know what? We see a good trajectory in his path, in his development. We think that our development program as a team, they got a lot of money. The Toronto Maple Leafs are pretty good as a development program. That's
they have proven that in the last few years. A lot of their guys are tracking well.
And that we can take him and turn him into that kind of elite talent. And I absolutely think that if any team is going to do that, Toronto's going to be a good one. To get
he just seems like a good piece. He's a good complementary player. He works hard. He's an animal out there. I've seen a lot of clips from him in the last 24 hours. They all kind of come out of the woodwork from, because the Leafs took this guy. And he looks good. I mean, I can imagine, him on like a third line kind of energy scoring line with like a Fraser Minton or a Roni Hirvonen in the future. Like, part of me goes, oh yeah, that's a pretty good player. So we'll see for sure. And
I always have no problem plugging guys like this into the top six. Just say, you know what?
Oh yeah.
Hey, have a shift with Matthews, have a shift with Tavares, have a shift with Marner. Just go out there and show me what you got.
Yeah, I'm reading things like he was a big Marner fan growing up, and that hurts me because what? What do you mean? Growing up, you're a Marner fan. So that threw me off a little bit last night when I was reading that. He got a FaceTime from Mitch Marner apparently almost immediately, being the London Knight guy. That's cool to see. So yeah, part of the boys already. I'm liking it.
I think really the reaction and the shock, much like Montreal fans, is, hey, we could have taken this guy lower. Yeah. But you know what? In this draft, no, you couldn't. Because I don't think teams are willing to make these trades. I think that, they're willing to hold on to their picks. I think rounds 2 to 7, we'll see as the random names get taken. We'll see a little bit of the up, down, 10 or 15 kind of spots. But I'm not surprised, really, that the 20 to 40 range is going to stay a little bit more stagnant.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of safe picks here in the first part of the second round, which hasn't started yet. We're still waiting, watching the NHL Network stream. And there's a trade Josh Bailey.
Oh my God! Future Considerations has been traded again.
Future Considerations is on the move again. That guy gets traded everywhere. It must be a locker room cancer.
Oh my God!
But Future Considerations to the Islanders in exchange for Josh Bailey and a 2026 second round pick. I didn't even know you could trade picks that far down the road.
Today you can.
So it doesn't look like any salary retention. So the Islanders shedding some salary. Blackhawks getting a player in Josh Bailey, who yeah,
that's still a player. I'm surprised that there's no. We'll see what the return is, but
why am I clicking on this? Did they updated it already?
Wow, they did.
They did.
Wow, good on you, Cap Friendly.
Cap Friendly always that's crazy, dude. How do they always? How do they already have him at Blackhawk? Only 1 year left. 1 year left. $5 million. 33 years old. He's one of those players that I look at his stats.
They're fine.
He's played over 1,000 games.
Yeah. Sweet Jesus. Wow.
Right?
Crap.
It's when did that happen?
Yeah. I don't remember celebrating that this year.
25 points in 64 games this year. He's going down in production. But he's a solid center. He plays all 3 forward positions, but I'd put him as a decent center. Maybe you start him with Taylor Hall, Josh Bailey, Connor Bedard line as your top line going into next year, just to play.
And I like
Bedard with a couple veterans.
Yeah, and if you're gonna bring Bedard in, put him with a center who can play wing very comfortably. Yeah. So maybe Bedard can get his chance at center. Exactly, so right. You give him a good space on the ice to figure out the NHL game and speed, because he is gonna come in as a smaller guy, and who knows, he might need that veteran leadership on his line.
Got a few people in the stream here. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Leave a like on the stream if you don't mind. It helps us out a lot, and it helps the visibility of the stream. Gets more peeps in here, man. Let's get some more hockey fans in here. Let's talk about what's happening today.
And speaking of, good time to get your predictions in for the second rounds. Mm-hmm. Whoever is left on the board, I think Andrew Crystal to Anaheim.
I think Andrew Crystal's the best player available at this point.
You had a day to sleep on it. Just take him Anaheim.
Yeah, honestly. Riley Height's still available. Ethan Gauthier, Gavin Brindley, Kasper Halttunen, Lucas Dragicevic. I don't think they'll take a defenseman.
Maybe
Anaheim. Maybe they got a lot of defensemen.
They do, but I also feel like Anaheim's the team that needs to maybe add a few more in case some don't work out, in case maybe what if Drysdale's career doesn't go the exact way or something, for instance. You can never have too many good defensive,
No, I know, and
a guy like Dragicevic,
if you're gonna be deep in anything,
yeah,
be deep in defenseman or center, I guess.
Yeah. Down the middle and on the back end.
Yeah, but yeah. We'll see what Anaheim does. I think Andrew Crystal is the best player available. Hey, Danny, what's up, buddy?
I don't feel like there's as many. There isn't the centers. I feel like we're taken at the right time in the first round.
Yeah.
Grayson Sawshin's still here.
I wasn't expecting him to go in the first round.
I was thinking maybe he's late as one of the reaches. But...
In my mock, he's who Anaheim takes.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have Andrew Crystal available, so. There's that. Anaheim, Columbus, Chicago, San Jose to start off the second round. I have the first goaltender of the day going to the San Jose Sharks.
Trey Augustine?
Michael Vrabel.
Yeah. You have him ranked as your second goalie?
Yeah, I have Trey Augustine ranked as a higher, who I would take personally ranked higher, but I think the consensus is Michael Vrabel's he is 6'6", so he big. He big. You can't teach a goalie how to be big.
I'm trying.
What is Bill Daly here for?
Not to announce picks in the second round. Have they already been announced and we're just sitting around?
No, I keep checking. Who?
Nico Miami.
I mean, I know who that is, but come on now.
That's a reach. You know, you had all day to sleep on it. You got to pick the right guy. Somebody in his family's wearing a Molendyke jersey. Oh no, that is Molendyke. I'm so dumb.
Niko Mijadovic.
You know what I mean? We haven't had
interesting
big kid. We haven't had any above agers yet. And I think Anaheim's already shown that they're willing to take a little bit, not of a reach, but they're picking for need at this point. They clearly picked Leo Carlsson because they think, hey, maybe he's not the best player, but like the best for us. Because I think the consensus is Adam Fantilli. But
put his position here to help me out later. Volume shooter, big guy. Don't see how this guy can beat NHL goalies. Yeah, I'm a little surprised here.
Maybe that's what they think they need.
Here we go. Yeah. Gavin Brindley was picked.
Ooh. Feels like a Columbus pick.
Yeah. Gavin Brindley to the Columbus Blue Jackets. This is going to be way more rapid fire than yesterday.
Chicago's pick is in. I like that for Gavin Brindley's Brindley's a very defensive, kind of very straightforward, simple kind of guy. Mm-hmm. And I think that Columbus, that kind of fits their mold.
I don't like him. I don't see how he translates to the NHL.
As a bottom six guy?
Yeah, even as a bottom six guy. I don't know. Every time I watch him, I'm like, I'd pick someone else.
And the first goalie.
Oh, no way.
Picked by Chicago, Adam
Gajan. Look at that. That's surprising. I didn't think that he would be the first goalie off the board. Mm-hmm. That's super cool, though. I like that. I thought it'd be Michael Hrabel for sure.
And you had San Jose picking Hrabel here.
Yeah. So maybe they just go back-to-back with it. Gajan. Big fan of his in the World Juniors this year. He was incredible. He was a draft-eligible goalie in the World Juniors, which, doesn't happen very often.
He's our first above ager, right?
Is he above ager? Oh, I guess he is.
Yeah, he's
19. So, first above ager.
Which I think makes sense for a goaltender.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, leave him a year.
And the San Jose Sharks take Kasper Halttunen.
That makes sense for them. I like that. 3 teams?
12 heads.
Real good pick here from San Jose. I like that. I like Kasper Halttunen. I have 37th and 44th in my fantasy team. Hope to get Crystal. Nice. I think he'd be pretty safe there. He's I don't know, in a fantasy league, I think he would go a little higher, but we'll see.
And Tampa's about to announce their pick, and Arizona's on the clock. They are going to move quick through the second round.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like after that, they're going to start flying, too.
There goes Ethan Gauthier.
Seems like a Tampa Bay pick. I'm a little bit surprised he did fall to them, but good. Good pick for Tampa Bay. Good for them.
He's going to be the next great Tampa Bay Lightning player that they just kind of pull out of nowhere. This was a pick they got from Montreal. I didn't feel like going through every team and saying where the pick originated from. This was Montreal's pick. From the New Hook to Colton trade the other day. So.
And this works for Tampa. They always pull out a random winger. Random guy. Second line guy.
Is that Michael Hrabel? The man is gigantic. That has to be Michael Hrabel. They haven't announced it yet, but yeah. There is
a giant in the room.
There's a massive man hugging his family.
Oh, he's 6'8". What?
He's not 6'8".
No.
He's 6'6",
6'6",
I think.
right? I think I saw that the 8 is a 6.
The tallest. But, like, I don't know. He could grow.
This is a good pick.
Too. This is a really good pick.
Really good pick for Arizona. They have a potential goalie of the future. I don't know. I'm not too huge on this entire draft class.
They have him at 6'7".
6'7". He's going to get bigger.
Oh, God. He's going to get bigger. No.
I haven't been too huge on this goalie class, but I do think that Vrabel, he's my pick, and Augustine. I think they're both going to be really good fringe starter types. And Buffalo, Anton Wahlberg.
There goes Anton Wahlberg.
Good for Buffalo. They're picking the right guys. They know that they're not too far away, and they're picking guys that they know for the next 5 to 10 years, when they come in, that they're going to be impact guys. Wahlberg, he's big. He knows how to use his body, too.
There goes Andrew Crystal.
Andrew Crystal to Washington Capitals.
That's sick.
With an I.
Yes, you're right. Crystal. NHL Combine results, Michael Vrabel.
Yeah, it's 6.7.
So round it up.
Yeah.
I know they round up to from 3/4 up for sizes.
He's going to be a killer in the Capital system. This is a good pick for Washington, too.
Yeah.
They're going to really develop the offensive upside in him.
And this is Detroit's 3 straight picks.
If there's going to be a trade announced in the second round, it'll probably be here, but I think they're going to go for it. I think they're just going to name all 3.
They're just going to pop off all 3 here? Yep. Very possible. Who's this? Hey, it was Trey Augustine.
There you go.
3 goalies who I would have considered picking in the first, but they all just pop off here real quick from the first 10 picks. 3 goalies are off the board. If you want a goalie, you only got a couple options left here, I think. This is the best goalie in the draft. I'm calling it right now. Bookmark this for later. Trey Augustine is the best goaltender in this draft. I love Michael Vrabel, but Trey Augustine can move, dude. He can move.
I love athletic goalies.
Yeah, he's the most athletic goalie in the draft, 100%. And Michael Vrabel, I think, he could develop that, but he plays just big and strong because he's 6'7", so why not?
And both are very different styles of goaltending that work in today's NHL. So there's no bad option, though. Comparing the two, you want to say Augustine might have a further, you think he's a little bit better.
Nice. Leave a like on the video if you like Trey Augustine more than Michael Vrabel. Yesterday I had the 5th pick. I took Leonard and 37th Crystal, exactly the same as Washington. Let's go. Washington hired this man right now.
Detroit's been on the clock for a while.
Detroit's been on the phone. They keep jumping over to Yzerman's on the phone. He's got the Dubas double phone going on.
I think he's trying to make a trade.
I think he's actually going to trade this pick.
Or
I think a league official is over at his desk right now.
He's stalling to trade the next pick.
He has a lot of time here he can use. And I think they have some sort of like a timeout system for like an extra 30 seconds or something. Right. Like, hold on, we're making a trade. Everyone relax for 2 seconds while I finalize this. Wings are making a trade? I think so. Name 3 straight picks. Why not?
Yeah. And unless, it was going to go either way, that if they stall, it's a trade. But if not, they have the 3 names that they want. They're like, yeah, these are available. Crystal, Augustine, Halton. And they're probably had, going into this morning, hey, these are the guys we want. And I'm guessing that Crystal was one of them. They got Augustine was the one on their list. I'm not sure which one of the other guys. What do you think?
I don't know who's. I haven't been keeping track of who we have left here, but Riley Height's still on the board. Crystal's off.
The picks in?
Brindley's gone. Haltonen's gone.
He's gone. Andrew Gibson.
Huh. That's interesting. Augustine's gone. I thought for sure it looked like they were really close to trading that pick. Or it looks like they were real close, but couldn't get it done. Good and big mobile D.
And they need that in Detroit. Not that, Sider's bad by any means, but I think that they could definitely... I think he's been a little bit overexposed at times. They need to, definitely round out their defensive prospects and make sure that they have a good D-core going forward if they're going to be one of the more competitive teams. Because I feel like, as a Sens fan, I've watched, Buffalo, Anaheim, Detroit kind of go through the same kind of rebuild at the exact same time. And I feel like Buffalo's done it really well. Anaheim and the Sens have kind of done it in the mid, and I feel like Detroit's not had the best rebuild, though I have faith in the Yzer plan.
It was a trade.
They traded down for 47 and 147.
I think that's what he said. So this pick is Nashville's. Detroit's, and I heard 147, which makes sense. That is also Nashville's. There's a little trade down. Nashville jumps up to get a guy.
It says
maybe
they're picking.
Yeah, that might just be. I mean, if I have to change Chicago to Nashville,
yeah,
there it is. Oh, there it is. Yeah, they've changed it.
Felix Nelson.
All right.
How worried?
I had him. Where did I have him?
Where did you?
I had him on my second round, I think.
How worried do you think Nashville was that he wasn't going to go in 5?
Yeah, who knows?
I like this.
I had him at 57 to Seattle, so it's another second rounder of mine gone.
Maybe he made some calls and was like, "Yeah, Buffalo." I was like, "Yeah, I want him."
100%. Training up to get Felix Nielsen is kind of nuts.
They had Nashville had 46 anyway.
47.
Yeah.
Oh, they had 46 anyway.
7.
True.
Ooh, Roman Kanserov.
There goes Roman Kanserov.
Which was the wrong choice.
Why? Tell us why.
I like Roman Kanserov, but I feel like he has... When we talk about the Russia factor and the inability for a team to control their players' development, Roman Kanserov is a player who has missed out on a lot of development. He is one of the oldest players in the draft, oldest player in the Russian system who's at a high-level prospect, so he was always playing a little bit ahead of his peers in his age group for the draft. So you're comparing him to other draft eligibles, he's 10, 11 months ahead, which when you're 15, 16 actually matters a lot more. And coming in last year when I was watching him, I noticed he's just relying on a lot of skill. And in this year coming in, he's very skilled, but he never learned how to play more than just his skilled type of hockey. And he's missing a lot to his game. He doesn't really have habits and instincts that are killer, to make, something happen with the puck, the game-changing ability to see the ice and really make a difference. He's kind of just there, hoping the puck comes to him and then makes a quick play in the offensive zone. I think it's a little bit of a risky pick because his development really did stagnate this year. But if Chicago says, hey, there's a piece, there's a fit, there's a way we think he's going to fit into the roster, then maybe, but he wouldn't have been my pick out of Russia. I would have gone for Alexander Rykov.
Felix Nielsen was one of the biggest riser of the draft. He got up by 54 ranks in the NHL CSS list. He really had good advanced stats, doesn't give the puck to the opponent. Yeah, I mean, they must really want him. They must have heard something where, maybe Buffalo was going to take him and, you trade up to get your guy, I guess. But and Nashville can do it. They have a bunch of extra picks. And you can't sign everyone you draft anyway. There's a maximum amount of contracts you can even have in the NHL. I think it's 90. There goes Kalen Lind to Nashville.
Stir back to Buffalo. He's a guy that...
Yeah, we didn't talk about that. That's an awesome pick for Buffalo.
He's a guy that there's a lot of development left, but the potential there's so huge.
I love that. Yeah. But Buffalo continues to be one of my favorite prospect cupboards in the NHL.
And Kalen Lind in Nashville, this is a good pick.
That's a good pick. I'm really surprised he fell this far. I like Kalen Lind. He's a shithead.
Speaking of guys who can be a difference maker in a game.
Yeah.
Kalen Lind will, you'll notice him on the ice. Kanserov, you only notice in the offensive zone. Kalen Lind, everywhere, he's a bit of a menace.
He is a menace. Absolutely. Appreciate everyone joining us today. We're Dopemon. We do hockey things here on YouTube sometimes. We're doing the draft right now. This little watch party is hanging out, chatting to some like-minded hockey folks. If you enjoy, leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more. We're going to do a bunch of stuff in the future, hopefully. It's dope here. Appreciate you leaving a like too, just so it boosts the reach. The reach of this stream, get more people in here and talk to some more hockey fans, man. This is good shit.
Detroit's been on the clock for a while.
They have been on the clock for a while. This is the pick they traded down for.
Yeah, so I think they really want to trade. I think they worked their phones really hard. They finally got Nashville to buy them more time by trading down. They're trying to get rid of this pick. I think all the names on their list that they felt were going to fall to them have already been picked. So
they don't have a whole lot of late pick. I mean, they have Minnesota's 4th, Tampa's 5th, and then they have enough late picks. So it's not like they're dying for draft picks or anything.
No, Brady Cleveland.
Brady Cleveland. That's not a guy I had on my list.
2nd overall for best name in the draft after Quentin Musty. This is a little bit of a reach. I see why Detroit had been trying to trade their pick, because they had their names for maybe guys who were going to fall to the later rounds, and nobody's biting. And I think Detroit's the kind of team. Brady's Cleveland here. He's a big guy. Let's play a very, very, very typical defensive defenseman kind of game. I feel like that Detroit, if they're gonna stop all these goals against, he's the kind of guy. He blocks shots, throws his body around, very good in his own zone. That's huge. But
speaking of divisive defensemen here,
yeah.
Is ATM Moran gone?
And Cleveland can really also move the puck. He's got pretty good hands, considering a lot of old school defensive defensemen don't really. They're not as good moving the puck. He can. I think
he can move it a little bit. He's not going to run a power play or anything.
No, God, no. A little bit of a reach.
ATM Moran is a neat pick here for Calgary. I don't hate that.
That's a really good one for Calgary.
Calgary just needs prospects, man. I don't know what Calgary's.
They need to restock.
They need to restock a few positions.
Because everybody wants to leave. We've been hearing the past 2 summers, people leaving Calgary. Johnny Gaudreau, Matthew Tkachuk. Now we got Elias Lindholm, Toffoli. Everybody wants to leave now. And in 2022, they only had 3 picks. Yeah, and
their top defensive prospect is what? Yan Kuznetsov? Maybe.
Yeah.
Cam, why not?
Yeah. They definitely just need to pile up on more players, really bolster up their roster. I'm not sure where the organization is headed. I think they're trying to pretend that they're not in need of a rebuild, because they probably are at this point. At the point where the tipping point or whatever, where
they're announcing a trade.
New York Islanders, Danny Nelson. That's an Islanders pick.
Yeah, that's an Islanders pick. Ryan Conley? I haven't seen much of him, to be honest. Oh, there goes Kyler Yamamoto. And future considerations.
He just got traded twice.
Just got traded twice in the same day. Kyler Yamamoto and Clint Costin heading to, where was that?
Detroit.
Detroit.
And they finally got the trade done.
There goes Carlsson Rekhoff. I'm behind by a couple people now here.
I'm not a huge fan of Rekhoff's game. Like, he's one of those guys like that. I get that there is hype, but I don't hype him. I like his style, though. Obviously, he's going to make an impact.
Seattle, not a bad pick for them. Edmonton gets out of the Kyler Yamamoto deal. I know that was kind of holding them back. They had a little bit of cap issues. Finally get out from that. $3.1 million contract, I think, for just next year. Yeah. 1 year left on that. And the RFA rights, or the signing rights to Clint Costin. There goes Carson Bernison.
This is a good pick for Philly, too. He's the type of goalie that I feel like Philly likes.
Bjarnason.
And there really isn't, as far as first-year draft eligible goaltenders, you know, I have Augustine and Vrabel. Bjarnason's obviously third, but then it really just, that's it, like, in my opinion, then. Like, if you're going to pick a goaltender in this draft, you really do kind of have to reach and pick him a little bit earlier than usual.
And Alex, yeah, very surprised Montreal hasn't made any trades. So am I. They don't have a whole lot of draft picks in the top part of this draft, and considering where Montreal is, I thought they'd be a little bit more busy, but...
Oscar Fisker Molgard. Is he above Adrian? No.
Where's Riley Heidt, by the way?
Yeah, the Danish player. This is if you're a Dane, I don't know how many people from Denmark we have fans of the channel.
Danish people here.
But you got to be pretty hyped about Molgard. There's not a lot of scouting, I feel like, in and Denmark's country had definitely been under represented in hockey here, and they're pretty good still. So
and Bjarnason has a vision problem. He's late on the shot, gives up a lot of rebounds. I don't know, man. I wasn't very high on Bjarnason. I know he's highly touted as the best Canadian goaltender in this draft. I am more of a Scott Ratzlaff guy. As much as he's not as big, I think he's better, and that's the issue with NHL goaltending prospects. Oh my God, we're flying through.
Minnesota drafting Rasmus Kampulainen. Big two-way kind of guy. I think he's going to be a great fit for Minnesota. Seems like a Minnesota kind of pick. So he'll end up being in like a 4-line rotation. I can definitely see him getting a good energy line minutes. Good two-way kind of game.
And Jacob Dvorak also off the board. For LA, that was quick. That was a quick couple picks.
Yeah, they had their. I feel like these teams all had their the names on the board they wanted.
Riley Heidt, Grayson Sawshin, Lukas Dragicevic, all still available unless I missed things. Jaden Perron, Hunter Brustevich, Caden Price, Cohen Zimmer, William Whitelaw, Cameron Allen, my boy.
Cameron Allen,
he's
going to be a steal though.
He's going to be a steal wherever he goes. Heidt and Perron still on the board is surprising. Yeah, Heidt for sure.
I'm not surprised about Heidt.
Really?
No, he's going to be a third, 4th rounder.
No.
Probably third. I from the beginning of the season, I was high on him. I was like, yes, we need to be watching this kid. And Heidt did not.
Not Slovakian.
Ooh, Martin Misiak. Okay.
Is this an above ager?
No, he's just he's an early. It's probably why, because he's maybe an extra year at an international tournament, because he's born in September. Oh, and the Oilers are in too with Bo Aki. Oh, and it looks like
Cap Friendly's ahead of things
for EP.
Or sorry, EP, yeah. It looks like Dragicevic just went to Seattle.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I got to see the full. I guess Chicago really liked what they saw. I feel like in all the games I watched of Misiak, I was like expecting more from him. I'm like, yeah, I get the hype, but like, I just didn't see it as much. Maybe game in and game out. Maybe I wasn't watching the right games, but I don't know. I think Dragicevic is
blanking.
Dragicevic. No, V-I. Yeah, same. There you go. Nope. Close. It's not Civic. EVIC. Shavik.
EVIC?
Yeah. I think
Montreal should trade a couple picks and try to get a late second. One of those possible steals still available. Yeah, I would try to trade up into a guy like Lukas Dragicevic, who's gone now, but Riley Heidt, Jaden Perron, Grayson Sashin, a lot of guys here that could be steals. How do you feel on Chicago's picks? I mean,
they got to pick Bedard. It doesn't matter after that.
I think a little bit of a steal at 1. I'm pretty sure, yeah. No, I think Chicago's done really well. Getting Oliver Moore at 19 is incredible. Carson Bjarnason is an interesting pick at 51. I just realized they took Bjarnason and Guyan.
Oh, yeah.
Did I have that right?
Yeah.
They took 2 goalies. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Why did they do that?
Well, hey, I guess they wanted to stockpile up.
No.
What did you do wrong?
I did something wrong.
Oh, that's Philly.
This was
Philly? PHI, not CHI.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense. We traded our 51st pick. Okay.
Ooh, New Jersey picked Lenny.
Oh, Amy Hanna. I like that. He was on my board. Savage is gone. Yeah, if I miss trades, I miss trades.
Gary Terrence. This is a good pick for Anaheim.
A little back-to-back for Anaheim here.
Damian Clara.
Really?
Down to the last 4 picks in the second round, and there's some names on the board that I'm a little bit surprised Grayson Sashin hasn't been picked yet.
Yeah, we're almost to the end of the second round. Tristan Bertucci, a bit of a reach. A little ahead of us, I think. We must be a little behind. Is that who Dallas picked? If that's true, that is a bit of a reach. Just a smidge.
So I think we've reached the point in the draft, where teams are no longer have a consensus on who the best is.
Oh yeah, now it's all over. It doesn't matter.
Right,
anymore.
so
it's just a free for all.
I think after about 40 to 50-ish is the 20 to 45, 50 is when we really see the teams like, hey, this guy is the consensus best. Rabel wasn't gonna fall past 45 just because the hype and thing, but now we're reaching the point where guys who maybe there isn't a clear consensus on how good they are, Whitelaw, Height, Cam Allen, Luca Pinelli, that we're starting to reach the point where because they fall, teams who might be high on them, like let's say Montreal, Toronto, Ottawa, the 3 teams right here in the East, none of them have picks right now, so who's going to pick a guy like Riley Heidt who is actually high on them? So
might be Carolina here. Carolina be a team that would do that.
I think they could absolutely take Riley Heidt. I think he'd be a great fit for Carolina.
Yeah. Seems like a Carolina pick. Not familiar with Guyan as a goalie. How did the Blackhawks do? He was incredible at the World Juniors, and I definitely think that had a big effect on where his positioning ended up. he was just, I don't know, he's just a stopper. He moved well. He was a little bit upright for me.
And the first and only above ager?
First and only above 8, yeah, by 1 year. He stood up really tall, and I don't love goalies that do that because, you need to be able to see around shots and things. But he was really, really good in the World Juniors. And Carolina's been on the clock for a while. Oh, no, there we go.
Understorm.
Fair Carolina pick. Florida got their pick.
Yeah, I heard cheering.
Yeah.
I missed the name.
I don't know, Riddler. I thought it was Chicago's
traded to Philly.
Picks. Yeah, it was traded to... Let me see if I can figure it out. Oh, it was just traded down, so Philadelphia got it for LA's pick. Oh, it's next year. Okay, so a second round next year and 167 this year.
Grayson Sawshin going to Florida. This is a really good pick for Florida. They're going to get a NHL player out of him at some point. Probably a third line kind of guy, but I think that Florida's the team to do it. He's really going to fit into their, I think their bottom six kind of like core.
Grayson Sawshin. I always put a U there. Have him listed as a center. I'm down with that. A lot of people are really high on this guy. There was Riley Height finally to Minnesota
to close out the second round. Notable names on the board still: Hunter Brzustovich, however you want to call him, Jaden Perron.
Yeah, Jaden Perron not being here anymore, or being here still, is interesting.
Caden Price is one, too. I thought a team would take a reach on him, especially with the lack of D in this draft. Luca Pinelli is one I thought could be here.
Did Alex Chernick go?
No.
No.
Yeah, Luca Cagnoni, Matthew Cataford, yes, senior. I'm not surprised Nurmi. I was not surprised.
No, Nurmi is my...
He's going to like 6 to 7.
Jesse Nurmi is my like guy that I just wanted to put there because I like his game.
Yeah.
And he's a 5th round pick. I have to refresh my memory here, Jeunesse. Brustevich? I like Brustevich. Or Brustevich.
Brzustovich is
Brzustovich?
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce the name. I keep getting contradictory things for that. I like him. I think he played well in Kitchener this year. I watched him. I'm a Guelph Storm fan, so naturally I see a lot of Kitchener Rangers just play because of that. Cole Brown, I don't know if I would have very high on my list. I didn't watch a whole lot of him this year. He played in Hamilton. I didn't watch a lot of Hamilton games.
Yeah.
Hamilton was kind of a black hole for me.
He's one of the guys where you need to like really tap into your
Nick Lardis.
Your like OHL scout and be like really like how many sleeper picks, because once you get to this point in the draft, everybody's just picking guys that they've scouted hard and think that have incredible upside, because it's easy at this point to kind of draft guys who are gonna be, depth energy guys, but those guys are easy to find in free agency. They're easy to sign. You can sign a bottom 6 winger. You don't need to waste a 3rd round pick. On a 3rd round pick, you gotta be looking really deep into these drafts and saying, hey, who's maybe on a team that got overlooked and is really good, had a bad season, but has the potential there, because you're really drafting for upside. Same for if you're going to be looking at above agers. Like, obviously, we got Saad Gayan going to Chicago, who had an amazing year. Goalies in particular, I think that goalies in particular, you need to wait that extra year or two sometimes before you draft them because you don't know how well they're going to progress. Because a lot of these goalies, they're going to be 28, 30 when they're finally like reaching their prime at the NHL level. So,
and I just wanted to shout out the chat here. We just broke 100 concurrent viewers right now, so thank you. Thanks so much for tuning in, hanging out with us. Those who haven't, appreciate it if you left a like, if you enjoy. Get some more people in here. Let's push this stream to the top of the list.
The second round's over.
Second round's over. We're gonna keep going quicker and quicker and quicker. So we're gonna try to keep up with all these players, but we can't talk about everybody, obviously. But really appreciate you guys being here. Thanks so much for hanging out.
As far as hidden gems, I think that
Cameron Allen.
Yeah, Cam Allen is our hidden gem because he did not have a good season in Guelph. We're just talking about tap into your scouts who were watching the OHL deep to find those guys who were on teams that were bad, had bad seasons. Cam Allen's a guy who had a bad season.
Bad season on a weird season. Like, Guelph Storm had a weird year. They traded a bunch of their top players really early, but then they got better, and the guys who replaced Danny Zilkin and Pashajov, the guys who stepped in for those, like Bowman stepped up. He was pretty good. But Cameron Allen, when we like to tell a story, we went to a Guelph Storm game last season in his draft minus 1 year. And we had our list of players, and we were like, okay.
I wasn't high on Buchinger.
He wasn't high on Buchinger. I was a little higher. We were looking at the draft eligible defensemen, and we're like, hey, wait, who's that out there? He's not on our list.
And he was playing amazing.
Like, he was playing amazing. And we're like, who is this guy? And it was Cameron Allen, who was a year younger than all these guys, and he was the best defenseman on the team, not named Daniil Chaika at the time, who I think was just above and beyond better than everyone else.
That was just,
So, but had a bad year this year. He had a terrible year because it was just a mess for Guelph all season. But I think he's more like the guy we saw last year than this year. I think the year was weird for him, and he'll be better. And whoever picks him is going to get a steal in like the third round.
As well, Alexander Rykov out of Russia. I think he has absolutely has top 6 potential in him as a winger, but Russia factor's obviously a thing. I don't think the scouting after the top guys, we've already seen guys like Simashev, Gulyayev, Michkov. Once those names are off, I think people's lists for Russia kind of just end there. So I think that Rykov's going to be a guy who drops to maybe. I know Carolina's a really deep. They've got really deep scouting in Russia. They're a potential guy who I think could take him maybe in the 3rd or 4th round here. William Whitelaw. I think this is an amazing pick for Columbus. Whitelaw's a little bit on the smaller side, but his style of play is very reckless. I feel like as a smaller guy with his style, he's, moving up into the NHL level, it's going to be hard for him to adjust. But the energy level, the motor, the skill is absolutely all there. And for Columbus, they can just use a little bit more of that. He's a guy who has just this, this energy and skill, because they can be a very odd structured team at times. And a guy like Whitelaw, who kind of plays outside the Whitelaw. Haha, pun intended, that like he can play very outside the box, and he can do something in the middle of the game, have a shift that absolutely blows everybody away. I think he's a good pick for Columbus.
Yeah, Nick Lardisk for Chicago too, I think is a good pick. Speaking of Hamilton Bulldogs players earlier, here's the only guy I think I really cared about on that team. Jesse Kiskinen. Or Jesse Kiskinen. There's 2 I's in Kiskinen, Ryan. I don't know too much about this player. I'm not gonna lie. I know of him, but
I know that Nashville will take a chance on a Finn.
Lardis, a big riser, 69 ranks in the NHL Central Standing. Mm-hmm. Nice. Very nice.
Very nice.
Kraken have a good second round. Yeah, I think they've had a pretty good second round, too. They got recap. Lukas Dragicevic fell to them. Carson Rekoff, I think. Yeah, 2 bigger names that I think fell a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely, Upsan. You ever watch him play and your jaw just kind of drops and you're like, what's this kid doing?
Yeah. There goes Jacob Fowler. That's interesting. I don't like this goalie.
If Whitelaw can reach the NHL level, he'll be absolutely shit. He'll kind of be like a Brad Marchand type. I feel like that's what he needs to develop. Maybe an aggressive edge away from the puck, and then he can absolutely thrive as like a Brad Marchand type because it's just wild out there.
Fowler to the Habs. I don't love Fowler to the Habs, but they need a goalie. Why not? That's one of the ones left. I'm so mad that Scott Ratzlaff is still on the board. I know wasn't expected to go, but it's true. There's so many. They don't need goalies. They have way too many goalie prospects.
Chris Berg, height to the Wild. I think that's a perfect pick because there's issues with height that I feel like Minnesota would work out of him. To get him into the lineup, they're going to be really hard on height to be a really good team player, very structured, very consistent, where I feel like Riley Heidt hadn't been this year. I felt like he didn't grow as much as he should have, and Minnesota's the team that's going to get the best out of him.
What did the Sharks do at 36? Good question. They took Kasper Halttunen.
Which is a really good pick.
Yeah, he was in my first round. I like him. He's a guy that kind of got a weird amount of playing time in Finnish Liga. I think it was Finnish Liga he played in, right? Yeah. Where he was... every time he went to Liga, and I think he only had 1 point in 30 games, but every time he was up there, he was like the extra forward, or he got like 5 minutes of game time, and then he went back down to the U20 leagues and played really, really well. So I think whatever you look at the numbers or whatever for European professional leagues, it's always a little bit weird. I think Kasper Halttunen, if he had played like the full season in U20 and didn't have this weird up and down season, would be a lot higher on people's ranks. I think he's a really good power forward. And San Jose gets a really good player there at 36. I had him in my first round, personally. Not only in my mock, but in my rank.
I have a feeling 71 here, Rykov. What do you guys think?
I just noticed Colson Petrie drafted. Yeah.
That was a good one for Anaheim.
We can't talk about everybody, yeah. Colson Petrie, right wing for Anaheim. Anaheim's having a decent little start here into the day. Who'd they take earlier? Niko Majtovic, which was a little bit interesting. Leo Carlsson earlier. They're having a fun day. They're getting their guys. They don't give a shit. Carey Terrence and Damian Clara. Colson Petrie. There's another Carolina where Carolina stalled the picks out here. A couple people looking at the computer on the phone here.
I have a feeling that they might be, they have a name, but they think they're going to drop just given the way the draft's going. A lot of names, I feel like you're going to get a chance on some guys. Cohen Zimmer, he's a name that I'm surprised. Alex Chernik, Luca Cagnoni, Denver Barkey.
Yeah.
Right.
Matthew Cataford, who I was surprised didn't go in the second round.
Right, and there's like 8 to 10 names I'm thinking that like if you're in the 90 range, you can say, hey, one of these 8 to 9 guys is going to fall to me. I don't have to trade up and give up an asset to move up in the draft a little bit here. It definitely has been that kind of year where the best player isn't, there's no consensus here, and people, teams have been really, really picking, I think a little bit earlier than in past years even, that than maybe reaching for the player that they want.
Any thoughts on Wild's first, second round pick, Rasmus Kumpalainen? Not really.
I like him. He's a big two-way guy, 6'3", I think. He knows how to use his body. There's another guy that I think fits Minnesota's mold of the type of 200-foot, every player committed to the structure kind of game. I think he's the kind of guy to play like that. He's going to be very committed to, every shift you're going to see he's going to put in a good effort. So it'd be maybe a little bit of a reach, but in a draft like this, there are no more reaches at this point. Teams are just taking
second and third round is who cares too, and he's on the younger side too. I like to mention that every time I see player's age. This is a mid-August 2005, so he's on the younger age for this draft. So you always kind of have to take that as like they're 8 months behind in our development, which at 17 is a lot of months.
Especially when at 6 foot 392 pounds, and he is, he's filling into his body very well.
I got another trade here. Carolina traded their pick, it looks like.
$94 and $100.
Good trade for Carolina.
Yeah.
94 and 100 is a good return for moving up basically 20-something spots. That's pretty decent.
Clearly San Jose thinks that there's a guy up here right now who can be an impact player. I'm guessing that he's going to take one of the big names off the board right now, like Zimmer,
Bruce Devich, yeah.
Truly, there has not been a lot of trading up in this draft, I feel like. More
less
trading
than
down.
normal.
The teams are definitely wanting to trade down, but
they took somebody. Who'd they take?
It must have been one of the higher rated prospects because he's here.
They have all been, I think most of them have been here.
The past 5 haven't.
No? Just maybe not.
I think that it also helps to go quicker when they don't have to have the player come up. Brandon Svoboda.
Okay.
That was an interesting way to trade up.
Big. I like Brandon Svoboda for that. Kumpalainen has really good hand-eye coordination. He's a bracket picks. Yeah, Judd Brackett. He's a really good technician, technically strong, and will improve with times. Floor is very low. Yeah, I agree with that. He's one of those guys that. What was I gonna say? He's not going to be a top line center. He's going to be a third line center at best. But he could be a really, really good third line center. So I think that's what they're drafting for. He's more of a two-way guy too. He's big, takes up a lot of room out there.
It's been a while, but that we've had a Swede, Noel Nord, going to Arizona. A team that they have been known to reach, and this is a reach. I like Noel Nord as he's big, and at 6'2", he plays like he's 6'6", which is pretty good for a guy who's, like when we were playing bigger, he's still very mobile, but able to throw his body around. He's definitely does not have any like top 6 upside.
No,
he's a bottom 6 guy. He's going to be a really very physical, very strong, beat you in the corners kind of guy that I think Arizona's going to need guys who are willing to commit in the corners and be strong. Nord, he's the guy who's going to do that for a very long time. So I got to watch him at Helenka, and that Swedish team was awful.
Yeah, this Swedish team was interesting.
But Nord, he was one of the few.
There goes Dower Nielsen.
I forget who asked me about. I think in my July draft, for like, these names, who else do you like out of them? I was like, Nord's all right, but
yeah, I think you said that last night actually. I like Noah Dower Nielsen. He was in my second round mock, so slips into the third round here. I had him going to Chicago. So.
I would have had him lower. I like him, but he doesn't have. I feel like the upside's a little bit lower for me. That I'm not.
I think I took him for Chicago.
Yeah.
How is Perron flying so far? I know.
Right. And he's the only guy in either of our.
He's the only one in our first round that's left on either one of us. He was my 28th or 30th pick to Carolina. He's the only one from our first round that's left. Opinion on Zimmer? I like Cohen Zimmer, dude.
He's about to go.
He's gonna go soon. I had him to Detroit. I really liked Cohen Zimmer.
He wasn't gonna go before height, but
Quentin Burns is gone. Where are my notes on Cohen Zimmer?
Ooh, Quentin Burns to St. Louis. This is a really good pick.
Yeah, last thought on Zimmer is he needs to improve his skating, but otherwise he could be a good pick for someone here. And I think if you could teach him how to skate properly, could be a good pick. Sorry, go ahead.
Quentin Burns to St. Louis. This is a big. He is going to be a defenseman for them. He's going to be mean and big when he is able to use his...
He's going to be a defenseman, you say?
Yeah, he's going to be an NHL defenseman. St. Louis will be able to turn him at least into like a PK kind of guy. He's very mobile. And once he's able to fully use like his body and his strength, he's gonna be a killer. He takes away space from opposing forwards so well. He's just on ya. I don't think there's huge upside, but St. Louis here is picking for a long-term solid defenseman. So
hopefully he's there at Chicago's pick in the 90s. I mean, Jaden Perron, that if he continues to fall into 90, I would lose my mind. There goes Hunter Bistevich. I always screw this up. B-R-Z-U-S-T.
Yes.
E-W-I-C-Z. Expected him to go higher, but I like that for Vancouver. I really like that for Vancouver.
Where did you have him?
35. What is the downside of Perron? What am I missing? He's small.
Yeah.
I think is the only big downside. He's 5'9".
And
that's all I got.
You can be good at 5'9", but if your skills and NHL scouts looking at you and saying, okay, you work at your peers, but your skills won't translate to the NHL, they just work at this level, then it's hard to take, a third-round pick on a guy that you think does not have any upside at the NHL level at all. Juraj Pekarczyk. This is an interesting one. I feel like he's going to be a bottom six guy, but St. Louis, they're good at getting these odd depth kind of guys to their best, and I think it's another good team, good fit.
We guys covered why the Leafs took Easton Cowan in the first. A lot of scouts had him in this range. Yeah, we talked about it at the beginning. I've calmed down a little bit on my reaction to Easton Cowan. I think it was one of those because you saw just before the Leafs picked that they had their cameras on the table. Tree Living was on his phone. Brandon Shanahan was on his phone. Like, I think they were trying to trade that pick down into the third round. Couldn't get any biters at the time. The return must have been so low. They were like, screw it. We're going to take our guy here. And they must have just really liked Easton Cowan. Just read a tweet about the Blackhawks plan to buy out Josh Bailey. That's interesting. What else did they get for Josh Bailey?
Lind? No,
Did they get a pick for that?
No, they got a piece.
Oh, they got a second.
No, they didn't.
They got, the 2026 second, right. I'm like, if they just traded him for future considerations to buy him out, that doesn't make any sense. But future second to buy him out, okay. What is where's this buyout calculator?
Yeah, Pekarczyk is a guy who definitely got better quicker as the season went on. He definitely developed at the end there. I think he took off a lot.
The buyout for Josh Bailey,
that's worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah.
2.6 this year and 1.16 next year.
That's nothing.
But, like, Chicago needs guys. I don't know why they wouldn't just...
Just for cap. It's a little bit too much.
For cap, really? For Chicago?
Ooh, Vegas taking Matthew Catford.
Oh, Cohen Zimmer gone, too.
And LA taking Cohen Zimmer. That's a good pick for LA. They're going to definitely get the best skill out of him on the wing.
Love Matthew Catford, dude. That's a great pick for Vegas.
Both teams here. I feel like teams are really getting the players that they want.
Cohen Zimmer is gone. Nashville on the clock. Opinion on Lipinski.
A little bit surprised that a team hasn't gone for him, to be honest.
Yeah, here, like, I thought...
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, this is the time when you see teams not reaching in a way, but like for guys you don't think have the upside, but like going for a guy like him who,
Like there's a wide range of opinions on Lipinski too, right? So some people had him around here. A lot of people had him in like as low as like 170. So
Yeah.
like I think he'll be drafted. Oh, he's an Arizona kid. Look at that. Another Scottsdale, Arizona product.
I feel like he's one of the guys
I
that
didn't realize it.
late bloomer, and unless you have a really deep scouting in the WHL and you've been watching him, maybe you've been following like Samuel Honzek or whatever, and you're watching the Giants, actually Victoria, I don't remember now. You're deep scouting in the
Vancouver
WHL, and you see him play, and you're like, okay, he's on a team that maybe is underachieving right now, or he's having a bad season, but you see the upside there,
Cataford is gone, and Cohen Zimmer is gone. Stevich is also gone, so our mocks still have Perron, Caden Price, Cameron Allen, Luke Batali, Alex Chernick, Denver Barkey, Luke Cagnoni, and Jesse Nurmi, who definitely wouldn't have been a second-round pick. That's just me being funny.
He just scored a lot.
He did just score a lot.
That's it.
But if you remember, I think whoever scores more in hockey wins.
Ah.
So
wow. Yeah.
That's could be a good pick.
But why does he score more? And
Nashville traded this pick.
Will he score more at the NHL level? Oh, so a third and a sixth in next year's?
Yeah, that's what I heard. So this is Dallas's pick. I don't know what
they're gonna take. Perron.
They're gonna take Perron.
Yeah, they're taking Perron.
I don't know what exactly this pick is for. Was this 125? Is that what they traded this for?
Pardon? No, just future.
Oh, they're both future picks?
Yeah, they're both future picks.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
2024 third, 2024 sixth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Matthew Armania, Sudbury Wolves defenseman. I didn't mind him. I only watched Sudbury a couple times. Not very big.
You gotta. He has the upside, but I feel like the team. It's gonna be one of the guys that he's gonna fall.
He's definitely.
He's a very specific type of defender that a team is gonna have to put a lot of effort into his development, and the time and patience needed. I know a defenseman like that, they tend to fall in the draft, but the team that does take him and does take the chance and can develop the best out of him, they're gonna see him thrive.
He's creative, but I don't know. I'm not huge on Mountie. Brad Gardner. An Ottawa 67 boy. That's fun.
There's some upside there. I see definitely gonna be an NHL player, but I don't know how high the upside is. This is a pretty good
for Dallas. Yeah, I don't mind this for Dallas. 100% has Ontario scouts.
Yeah. Oh my god.
What do we think of Calgary's draft so far? Says Drew. Let's review Calgary's picks. First round, Samuel Honzek.
That's the pick.
We both love that pick for Calgary. We have Etienne Morin at 48. I don't love Etienne Morin personally.
You know what? I don't love him, but I love him for Calgary.
Yeah, again, a good pick for Calgary.
Because he's a guy, when you watch him play, it's about commitment. Right? And Samuel Honzek, that's why in my mock draft, I had Honzek going to Calgary. Because I'm like, they need players who commit, who are shown that they're willing to commit. And quite literally, Honzek committed to the WHL being from the Slovakia. But like, I think Etienne Morin is a guy who commits to defense, and a guy who's going to be on the ice. He's not going to be thinking, "I don't want to be here." He's going to think, "I'm going to shut down the opposing forwards."
And speaking of Calgary, Adar Suniev.
Mm-hmm.
Good to know. Thanks, Drew. Thanks for hanging out with us, buddy. Adar Suniev. Let me refresh my memory on this player too. Man, Elite Prospects is way faster. Oh, he's Russian. Why don't you know? What? Give us your Russian
He shouldn't be gone. But this is a reach.
It's a reach?
Yeah, this is a huge reach.
He's a playmaker. He's playing in BCHL.
And like what we talked about earlier.
That's why I didn't know who
after Bradley Nadeau, this is the second BCHL player now.
Yeah. Penticton V's. You guys out of Toronto? Yes. Yeah, basically. We're outside of the city, but the closest city we're to is Toronto. A reach. This round, I guess you'd try a shot. Honestly, yeah. That's true. There's no reaches in the third round really anymore. No.
This is where you've gotten to the point where
this is where you
people are falling. There are no reaches.
Yeah, this is where you reach for players. Yeah. Why not, right?
And
that's a good point.
I've always been on myself hard that I don't watch the BCHL enough. So
this was the third we got back. Oh yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
He has an extra guy. I know they've made picks, but they haven't updated their board. Oh, Caden Price is gone.
Doesn't.
Ledka? And did Seattle just pick Caden Price?
Yeah.
Is that who that was?
Give us a minute while we fill up all the because the stream that we're watching has like an overlay, because obviously they're present in live, and what they're doing present in live is being reported on. And
Zachary and NEH.
Yeah, I've loved. Good to see you, buddy. I've loved St. Louis. The Blues have pulled off a really good draft, in my opinion. They're the winners of the draft. Yeah, Drew, that's yeah, I'm surprised. All we heard, the past 2 summers are people wanting out of Calgary. Matthew Tkachuk, Johnny Gaudreau, Elias Lindholm, Foley, like everybody is saying, "Hey, I don't want to be here." So I like that the picks that they did pick are players that want to commit and will likely want to just, play for the, leave all the drama and the media, whatever, and just play a good game of hockey. And they picked 2 players who are absolutely going to do that. But I don't know what their current their current roster management. I don't know what they're doing. Was that the Belarusian Yegor Sidorov? Yegor Sidorov, okay. He is really good. There's a lot of under scouting, I feel like, in Russia, but Sidorov, he is the best Belarusian skater in this draft, and I definitely could have seen him jump to the second round even. He is that good, but because in Belarus is part of the Russian system, they have a junior team and everything in the MHL, the Russian junior system. They have a league, they have a team in the KHL and everything, so it can be very difficult to scout and quite judge exactly how good these guys are because the Belarusian teams suck. And they're playing in a league where they're just clearly outclassed. And Yegor Sidorov, obviously he's really good, but because he's playing with these players, it can be very hard.
Sawyer. Neo.
Do you know what the offer was for Lindholm, Drew? Yeah, and Chernak falling, yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. I didn't see as much. I didn't see the growth I was expecting out of him, but if a team is. I feel like a lot of D that don't progress enough fall a lot in the draft because teams are like, hey, if he isn't progressing, that's going to be a huge miss. It'll take even longer to get him into the NHL, and maybe he's just, maybe a bottom pair guy. Am I going to waste a third or fourth round pick, who I can pick a forward who has that hidden elite potential in him? Am I going to miss out by taking a D who maybe isn't going to get there? But I do think that there's going to be the right team will take him. The right team that says, hey, I definitely see the potential, and I know that I can get the best out of him. So.
I think we're caught up here.
Yeah, Arizona did that last year. They took a huge reach on Artem Duda.
Arizona always does this.
Yeah.
Dude. Oh my God.
Right? And so going for Russians, they have deep scouting in there.
My overlay's back.
Oh.
Good. Overlay broke on NHL's stream, and I scrambled for picks there.
Yeah, Uberto will definitely have a bounce back year. Same with Kadri.
Yeah, the Daryl Sutter being gone will help the offense of that team.
Yeah, the team that does take him, it's going to be a steal pick.
And Coronado will be playing probably next year for them. I'd expect them to. So here's another Dubas pick at 90.
Dubas' second pick as a Pittsburgh Penguin.
Is he going to pick Jaden Perron? Is he gone? He's gone, right?
He's still here. Probably the biggest miss.
Caden Price.
I'm glad I didn't do a second round. I was going to have him like 33.
I had him at 30.
Yeah.
We're almost done here for our picks anyway. Or my picks, at least.
The big hidden gems right now left Cam Allen and Alexander Rykov. These are the two I think that are obviously Cam Allen. We've talked about him before. We're huge Guelph Storm fans. Are we biased? Yes. But are we realistic in how we scout? Absolutely. I want the best, and I think there's going to be, there's absolutely a path for him to be a really good NHL player.
Yeah.
But he's one of those guys. I was just talking about, what's his face?
Dubas been on the clock for a while here. What?
For defenseman falling, that if a defenseman doesn't have quite the jump and development expected, a guy like, Cam Allen, you're expecting him to kind of, continue that development, be that first round D, be that top 4 kind of potential that a team says, oh, like his development stagnating, do I have the patience on a guy like that? Or do I take a risk on a guy like Sawyer Minio, who's like, whatever. Like, he's got, there's a hidden potential there that's more clear, I feel like, for Vancouver to, like, get that out of him, or for Cam Allen, that's a project.
Oh, yeah.
And there's the high risk, but because he hasn't developed as much, he's going to fall.
Yeah, we're number 90, and we're still talking about guys that, like, could make an impact is crazy. It's such a deep draft this year. Deep at the high end, obviously, but there's still a lot of good potential players here in like
Denver
the third
Barkey.
round. Denver Barkey's still kicking around too.
Luke Cagnoni.
I'm shocked that Alex Chernak has not gone, obviously, but Jaden Perron is weird too.
Dubas on the clock.
Yeah,
still.
Pittsburgh is just they're chilling, man.
They get the commercial break because we got to pick 90, so we're like halfway through the round or whatever, right?
Maybe they literally get the.
Can't do that.
No, they're not done.
We're just in like the last little break before. Yeah, seriously, we don't know their off-ice attitude. There's definitely a lot of these players, especially if they're North Americans, they speak English and stuff. These scouts and GMs get the chance to interview them. talk to them, have these player interviews at times, and say, hey, look, like, how do you feel? How do you think your trajectory? What do you think? What are your values as a hockey player? And if they don't get the answers back that they want, they're like, maybe he's not the guy we see on the ice. It's the off-ice stuff. And I feel like in past years, we've maybe heard a little bit more about the off-ice action, antics of these guys, but usually it's been very negative. Logan Mailloux.
Yeah, Logan Mailloux, obviously, is a big example of that, but went anyway.
Yeah, right.
I see a New York Rangers logo on pick 90, which means that was just traded.
But Pittsburgh is now trading at picking at 91. So it was not a far trade, apparently.
I don't think they've announced it yet. Down one slot. Seventh round pick in 2024. That's what it cost to flop one pick.
The very last pick possible. The lowest possible value trade.
And the Rangers take...
They must really want this guy and be worried that Pittsburgh is going to take him because this is the cost to move up one.
Yeah, one guy.
Gonna be sweating bullets here.
Drew Fortescue. All right. I don't hate that for...
I feel like New York has done a good job at getting defensemen. Usually the higher end, top end potential ones, but I have a good feeling that they're going to have a good development program for their D, and he's going to be a guy who has a chance.
I like Drew Fortescue. He's a guy I would definitely select here. He's a good third round pick. The U.S. National Team Development Program, the USHL, he had 1 goal and 25 assists this year, according to NHL's overlay. Corey Perry to Chicago, man. They're going to try it next year. Corey Perry to Chicago. Where do you see that? That would be crazy. Be an interesting choice for Corey Perry.
I think he's been a guy who wants to win.
I was hoping Toronto was going to take him. Oh, they traded him.
For a
7th.
2024 7th round pick.
Why, though? Isn't Corey Perry a UFA?
Just the signing rights to him?
This is UFA signing rights?
And they really want him.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. Emil Piananemi. That's a good pick for Pittsburgh. You need a guy who they can kind of swing for, swing high for, and he's a guy who definitely has that in him. Not my pick for D, but I think it's a good pick for Pittsburgh. That needs to kind of take a guy like him. I know there was also a moment when I thought maybe Pittsburgh takes Cam Allen.
The Bruins' first pick is Christopher Pelosi.
I'm surprised Boston didn't maybe make another move to go up to.
Love to see Leafs try and get into this round and grab one of the pretty good players still available. I would too, Chris. Mm-hmm. I would too. Seems like there's quite a few guys that are still kicking around. In the top 100 of the draft. They don't pick until 156?
What would they have to move, though? Would they be trading a future third for this?
Yeah, signing rights to a guy, maybe. I don't know. Maybe, team really wants Alex Kerfoot. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But at this point, you're not giving up too much. You're giving up future 6th and 7th and stuff. Yuri Falkman to Blackhawks? You got your ear to the ground, man. You know.
It's a good pick for a Czech player.
Yep.
I feel like last year there was a lot of hype surrounding players from parts of Central Europe, Slovakia, and Czechia, and there hasn't been that kind of hype. I feel like when they play at the international level, there's a lot more attention on some of the guys.
Leafs need to stockpile D-man prospects. They're super thin there. I wouldn't say super thin, but yeah, like they've traded a lot of their draft capital over the last little bit, for chances at making runs and stuff. I think Topi Niemela is one of the best defensive prospects in the NHL, but after that, not much. Not much there as far as big D prospects. And I forget his name, so I'm going to look him up. But I'm a big fan of, where is he? William Villeneuve. Forgot about William Villeneuve. He's a decent, he might play NHL minutes eventually. How's your Falcon drafted ahead of guys like Borky, Stanley, Chernik, and Mutra?
Yeah, Timur Mukanov and Alex Rykov are both on this board still. Rykov is he is good.
Yeah, if the Leafs are thin anywhere, it's on defense, which is funny.
But... They're stockpiling on forwards.
Also, a lot of their most recent defensemen have graduated kind of into the NHL. Mm-hmm. They traded Rasmus Sandin, but he was one of them.
Kind of surprised.
Timothy Liljegren is still doing it. Perron to Canes?
That's a good pick. That's a really good pick.
Is that who they picked? Yes, it was. Yep. There goes Jaden Perron. An absolute gift at 94, dude. Holy hell. Is that who I had? I think that's who I had.
At 30? No way. You did.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes. Get the orange.
Give me that orange, baby. Oh, yeah. That's right. I don't know. I wasn't actually paying attention to which team. That one specifically. I had Carolina taking them at 30, so... And Denver Barkey to Philly.
Oh, that's a really good pick.
Yeah, this is when they're like, screw it, we're taking them. Yeah, there goes Denver Barkey. Philadelphia.
Want to refresh the stream just in case?
No, it's just that they're a little quicker. But yeah.
And also, EP's ahead. Like, if you refresh EP, you're going to
I'm sure they have somebody.
These things are made, right? Yeah. We're also we're watching the draft floor, and they're clearly putting up the names before we're getting them, in, like, the broadcast aspect.
Yeah, the broadcast a little behind.
So, yeah, the people who are there, I'm guessing, are updating on names and stuff.
Undersized, high upside, falling winger screams like a hurricane. Yeah, 100%. That's why I took him as high as I did to Carolina at 30. Because I was like, that's a hurricane, man. That's a Carolina hurricane.
They can 94. Yeah, get the best out of their wingers. I feel like they're really good at, they took a guy like Sebastian Aho, turned him into a center. He was so good at wing.
Arttu Karki.
Karki.
We like Arttu Karki here.
This is a guy with a lot of potential, I feel like. I'm surprised he didn't go a little bit earlier, because there's a bunch of D. I feel like, not reaches on round. D, but there's a few guys who I would have taken Karki before who have gone.
I can get rid of Denver Barkey. Cameron Allen, Luca Pinelli, Alex Chernik, Luca Cagnoni, and Jesse Nurme, the only guys left.
Cam Allen, though.
They're just announcing the Corey Perry trade.
Connor Smith to Anaheim.
Connor with a K. There goes Connor Smith. Anaheim.
Andrew Strathman. I'm surprised he fell, too. Rathman. That's a good pick for Columbus. They're definitely gonna get an NHL player out of them.
They're getting their guys at this point.
I don't feel like any team, maybe Detroit, because clearly they tried to trade off their picks, but every other team who's made a draft pick in this draft, I feel like has gotten the guy that they want.
Yep.
There's been no team has been upset at this point.
Who knows, and what happens on the draft floor. Maybe a couple teams have really got sniped in their picks, but I think they're getting good value. I think a lot of these guys are a couple guessing, a couple drops here and there, but otherwise not bad.
Yeah, Bradley Vision, I'm guessing on free agent day is also when we see Alex DeBrincat get traded, because I was expecting him to get traded during the first round, Ottawa to get into the first round and make another pick, but Ottawa's saying, hey, we don't want to pick. Chicago on the board now with Alex Ferrand.
Still going. Alex.
Yeah, the true movement, I think the roster change will happen free agent day. That's when the big signings will happen. That's when the players who, maybe RFAs who hadn't gotten their contracts, they get moved. The little guy like DeBrincat. And nobody talks in Ottawa about, still without a contract, Alex Formenton, who didn't play all season. True. He played in Switzerland for Bern. No, he played for, I don't remember which team. He played in Switzerland.
He played in the Switzerland, yeah.
And
I forgot about him.
Yeah, right? And so he's the guy who, does he get traded? Does he sign with Ottawa? What is his value now? Well, does he sign a one-year thing? Maybe he's part of the package with DeBrincat for a team that really wants to just, stockpile a little bit of forward strength right now to get them over the edge. Maybe they're not scoring as much, and Ottawa can get a good big return from that. Yeah. Maybe even like a young prospect, give up two guys who are NHL ready. Formenton, he's pretty good too. He's really, really fast. Of course, DeBrincat could be a 40-50 goal scorer.
And of course, the looming over Alex Formenton is the big elephant in the room in the Hockey Canada investigation. So I feel like that's why we haven't seen anything on him recently. But we'll see what happens there. The NHL is going to be shitty and announce that at
Alexander Rykov. I knew Carolina would take him. How many times was I like Rykov to Carolina? They're willing to draft out of Russia. They're willing to let good prospects that other teams miss out on just fall to them.
Jaden Perron and Alex Rykov.
Yeah, 94-100. Alexander. And last year, Carolina drafted Gleb. They drafted Paravolov. They drafted Grudinin.
They are not afraid.
No, they are absolutely not afraid to draft really good players out of Russia that the rest of the league is willing to pass on. Ooh, Arbor Shekai's brother Florian getting drafted by the Montreal Canadiens. That is cool. Brother? It is his brother. But you think that there's another XYZ Dragon Cannon in the NHL?
I don't know. What the heck? It is his brother. He's a forward.
This is a joke of a pick.
This is amazing, actually.
This is where, should he have been drafted here? No. But should he have been drafted here? Absolutely. Yeah, this is a good pick. Is he... No. This is just because they're brothers. This will definitely help get Florian into the NHL a little bit. There's probably not huge upside here for him, but for Montreal, who they can definitely use. They've done a pretty good job at stockpiling now their top end talent. He's a guy who's going to fill out their, really solidify their core. Be, on an energy line. Florian Shekai, he's going to definitely, bring a nice solid contribution to like a third and fourth line kind of thing. And maybe he gets to play, at the same time. Obviously, his brother's a defenseman, but if they're both on the ice at the same time, that got to make your, shiver and, a little bit and a little shake in your skates a little bit. You throw a hit on Florian, and you knock him down, Arbor's going to come after you. So maybe that kind of lights a little bit of motivation for both of them. I think it's pretty cool when you get family members, brothers, of course, father, son don't play, but brothers on the same team in the NHL. That's pretty cool.
Is Cole Knuble related to Mike? Yeah, he is. He's his son. Is his son. There you go. Played for the Flyers, I think, Mike Knuble. Yeah, he did.
Retired there. Maybe that's one of those picks, just like for Montreal taking the brother of Arbor, where they're like, you know what, he's played, we have,
And, no roids, Farrand, I know he played for Canada, the U18s. He didn't have a big role. Played in Sudbury, the OHL. I don't have a lot of information on him. He might play because he's involved in Team Canada's Hockey Canada program. He might be a candidate to, be invited to summer camps and stuff for the World Juniors and things like that. So you might see him sneak onto a roster somewhere, but I honestly don't have a lot of information.
He's a project kind
of pick. He's a project kind of pick for sure. Muller. Stankel.
Ottawa coming up with their first pick of the draft.
Oh my God, Ottawa!
If they take Cam Allen, I'll be so happy.
Yo, imagine.
Please take Cam Allen. Take a right shot D. There are not many left in the draft right now.
Stankel's a fun pick.
Chernik could be a good...
Chernik would be fun for you, too.
That would be a good pick.
When are they drafting UT Yakula? Good question, actually. Is he...
He's the best Finnish goalie that's left.
He is an above-ager, so that's why he's not gone yet.
I have a feeling he's going to slip, and a team is going to sign him to a professional contract. Yeah. He's not going to get drafted.
Yeah, that'd be my guess, is he just goes undrafted, and a team signs him, maybe. 100%. Yeah. Here's Ottawa on the clock, Alex.
Maybe another year playing in the pro leagues in Finland before... He did have a good season, but I don't think he had one that is going to scream, draft me, because there's a lot I've noticed, just in this draft, not about a lot of above-agers. Obviously, the goaltenders are more likely to be above-agers drafted, but not many. I think teams are reluctant. Stanley. Hoyt.
Jack pick is a slap shot 2.0 Hansen brother.
Yeah, Topi, another year in the pros.
On the foil.
Another year in the pros, and I think an NHL team's going to reach out to him and say, hey, you had your good season, come play for us, we're going to offer you a contract, plays maybe a season in the AHL and becomes, a backup, we'll see. But so it's a long journey for goaltenders. So, don't be upset if you see one kind of getting overlooked a little bit.
Yeah, goalies are weird to begin with, so. Ethan Mead, I like this pick for Buffalo.
Yeah, he's a guy who kind of fell. I feel like a team was going to reach on him, too.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of potential in him.
A lot of guys still available. Cameron Allen, Luca Pinelli, Alex Chernik, Luca Cagnoni still available.
Yeah, Upson, I know.
Ottawa continues to break my heart.
I'm used to it. You get one pick and you ruin it.
They had options. White Stanley. I don't know much about him. I'm not going to lie to you. We're getting into the range of, I've scouted this guy, but also not really.
And Ottawa's the master of, wasting a pick. Just completely
Cornell University. Big 6'3". That's why I haven't watched him. Played for Cornell. Oh, he played for the BCHL. Yeah. Again, another BCHL player where I go, who's that?
Mm-hmm.
And then I realize, it's a BCHL player. Just because I don't watch much of them. 38 points in 53 games. The BCHL Victoria Grizzlies. Is he committed to University of Cornell next year? He was ranked 84 by Elite Prospects. So, you got a deal.
Yeah.
Look at that.
This
is about where people will say when he was going to go. So, I don't know. Another defenseman.
I knew they were going to take a D.
You guys got a lot of defensemen.
They were going to take a D. They needed one.
Holy crap.
Montreal going for Bogdan Kunyashkov.
Bogdan.
Let's see, Nashville.
On Yushkov. Joey Willis is gone.
And I think we're gonna need. I think Calgary here. This is gonna have to be a good pick. They're a team who needs to just add players who are gonna commit and be NHL players. So
Ben Lois, how are we feeling about Vancouver's draft so far? Let's review Vancouver's draft so far. Tom Willander.
That was a good pick.
Great pick. I think maybe a smidge of a reach, but I think that's a good pick for Vancouver. He needs a good defenseman. Let's see here. I should really have filtered this. What else have they got? Who else have they?
That's it.
Huh?
That's
Vancouver, Hunter Brstevich.
Oh, yeah, that's a good pick.
I love Hunter Brstevich. I watched him a lot being a Guelph Storm fan. He's a Kitchener Rangers defenseman. I think he was probably one of their best defensemen all year. I like him. That's a good pick for you. It's 3 defensemen with Sawyer Minio. So you've taken a lot of defensemen in Vancouver this year. So
Vancouver really needs that too. They really need to give Quinn Hughes a break.
Ty Muller.
I feel like Quinn Hughes, he's maybe given too much ice time, too much. They need to worry about their future. How do we build now around a guy like Quinn Hughes to have a nice complementary team? And Vancouver's picking the D they need to build around a guy like that.
There goes Jaden Lipinski. We were talking about him earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good pick for Calgary.
Another good pick for Calgary. Calgary's having a good draft. Yeah, no problem, Ben. Thanks for coming and hanging out. New York Islanders on the clock. They haven't had many picks at all. Can I filter this in some way?
Control F.
No, I don't want to Control F. I used to know way more about Excel. There we go. Filter. Oh, a premium feature. Oh well. I have the free Excel. You're not allowed to do that. Sheets.
Don't worry, I use
premium features galore.
Open Office.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Waiting for Larry Kinnan. Draft pick. Yeah,
he's gonna fall.
Gonna take that. He's gonna fall for sure. Refresh myself.
Not a lot of above age.
Penticton B. See, again, a BCHL guy. I'm like, I have to refresh myself. Who is that?
No, he was
he's
a
in
U.S.
the
high
prep
school
league.
prep, yeah. And so he's gonna play with the Penticton V's next year, and then he's committed to the NCAA with the University of Massachusetts.
Okay, then I really haven't watched him play this at all this year. I don't think I've watched a single USHL prep game. I'm not gonna lie to you. Jesse Nurmi for the Islanders, really? Oh, let's go! It did update. Man.
Yeah.
Jesse Nurmi.
Yes.
To the Islanders. Why the Islanders?
Luca Pinelli. That's a really good pick
for
there
Columbus.
Goes
Luca, baby. Luca Pinelli. Shocked that he dropped so far. Actually, I'm not shocked. His brother, Francisco Pinelli, who was drafted a couple years ago. There goes my 2 picks there. So the only picks that we have from our mocks are Cameron Allen, Alex Chernik, and Luca Cagnoni. Right?
Yeah. I'm
boys with his sister. She plays for UNB Big Hockey Family. Great-grandfather played 11 seasons. That's cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. I love when peeps got buddies and stuff in the draft. You love to see that.
Yeah. You want to know, hey, my boy got drafted.
Yeah, you love to see that. Hope he gets drafted. We'll celebrate when he does. We'll keep an eye on it.
If I feel like a lot of guys in the U.S. high school that don't get a chance to play in the USHL, that's a huge thing for them. Even if it's like 5 to 10 games, when they get a chance to play at the USHL level, it really brings all the eyes on them. Not just for what they're missing, because I feel like a lot of them get exposed at that level, but just like, hey, there's something in them that at the US high school level, it is a little bit easier to kind of, excel and harder to see those deficits. You hit your wall, and it kind of exposes not just what you're bad at, but where you can shine. And I feel like for him, he's a guy that because he didn't get his like 5 to 10 games and experience there, he might drop a little bit to like late hundreds, maybe 200, maybe doesn't get drafted this year just as a result.
I also wanted to say here, thanks so much for tuning in. We've ripped by 200 viewers currently on the stream right now. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. This a lot of people for us. We don't normally get this much turnout. So thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you guys being here and just hanging out and talking some hockey with us. We love day 2 of the draft. It's always way more chill than the first round. It's just way more rapid fire and doing that. So yeah, leave a like and get some more peeps in here and get to help the stream out, and subscribe if you want to join us for more. 200 viewers. Wow, man. We go. Yeah, thanks up, San. Appreciate it, man.
We're Dopemon, 2 best friends, love to talk hockey news, analysis. We love the draft. This is what we're all about. This is Christmas for us. We have a Christmas list every year. This is it. So we're happy. We're excited to be here and love to talk hockey.
Cheers to you.
Yeah,
people.
If you love to talk hockey, you love to hear hockey, and just want to hear our opinions more, hit like and subscribe.
Hell yeah.
Nashville's still on the clock.
Yeah, Nashville's still rocking. 115. They've traded down once already, right?
But I feel like this is where they're just gonna make a pick. I don't know how much value you're gonna get in trading down at this point. Just do it. Just take your guy.
I mean, you're gonna get another guy, right? At the very least. How'd you feel about Ducks taking Carlsson over Fantilli? Parker, I was surprised.
But it kind of demonstrates the confidence that management has in the current roster and saying we don't need to take Fantilli. Fantilli's the best guy, but he does complicate your roster for who's your number 1 center. I feel like Leo Carlsson might be a little bit of a better fit for Anaheim that needs that tougher meat. They need more goals for. One of the lowest goals for. Leo Carlsson's a guy who he's going to mesh with the guys who are there and score a lot of goals. I think he's going to be a 35-40 goal scorer potentially, and Anaheim can really use that. They're picking at this point for need rather than the best player available at 2nd overall. Shows just how confident the management team is in their current roster, saying we need 1 or 2 more pieces and we're a playoff team, we're a winning team. And I like that. I really like that. I'd obviously take Adam Fantilli. He is the better player. But taking Leo Carlsson, I like that for the team for Anaheim because I think it'll make them better, just given that confidence they have in their team.
And Nashville did end up trading that pick to Tampa Bay. Need to do a meetup for those of us in the GTA. Mocking Ethan Cowan in person is so much more fun. Yeah, maybe in the future, dude. That'd be sick to meet a few of you guys in the future. Would be amazing. Maybe a few years from now, we'll have the ability to do a live in-person kind of draft stream, and we'll get a bunch of you guys out. That'd be fun. And then we can mock Ethan Cowans and the Tyler Bouchers of the world in person. Who have the Habs picked so far? I've missed most of the draft. There you go. So, the big pick here was David Reinbacher. That was causing a lot of attention in amongst Habs fans with Matvei Michkov on the board, Ryan Leonard on the board, but I like it for Montreal.
He's the perfect pick for Montreal. Was it a little bit of a reach at 5? Yes, but he's the guy Montreal needs. He shuts down the opposing forwards in the offensive zone. He's constantly taking away space. He'll pair with a guy like Lane Hudson, give Lane Hudson all the space in the world to use his tools and score. This is the right player for Montreal, even if the pick was a little bit of a reach.
Yeah, and then we have Jacob Fowler at the 69th pick, so that's nice.
Nice.
A goalie I wasn't expecting to go that high, honestly.
Larry Keenan.
But could be, there goes Larry Keenan. Hey, were we just talking about that?
Here I am wild style. There you go, Larry Keenan to the Detroit Red Wings. That's pretty cool. You gotta be happy to be going to an organization with great history like that.
Waiting for that Larry Keenan draft pick. There he goes to the Detroit Red Wings. That's close to us. We can go watch him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
Yeah. Dude.
Pop the champagne for Larry Keenan. Who else did Montreal pick? They haven't picked much today. They took Florian Jacki. They tock Arbor Jackie's brother.
Yeah, that's
out of the
cool.
OHL. That's really funny. I love that pick just for the hilarity of it. And then Bogdan Konyushkov. That's easy for me to say. So all too bad. You know, all said and done, not too bad of a draft for Montreal. Didn't have a lot of picks.
I think he's Belarusian. I had him in my
There's Larry Keenan. And I missed that one. Hampton.
Slakinski.
Don't know. I don't think I know who that is. I think he's an overage guy. Matthew Perkins.
Yeah, Konoshkov, that was a weird reach. I'm also surprised he got taken. Lushko, not Lushoko.
Oh, sorry.
Lushko? Ooh, 120. Looks like Alex Chiernik.
Chiernik finally got taken? To Philly, dude? Why are all my favorite players going to Philly?
Perkins to Vancouver, that's a good one. I feel like Vancouver will definitely get an NHL player out of him. Probably bottom 6, but that's still a pretty good pretty good draft pick for Vancouver.
Did you talk about Daniil Baruch?
Maybe 50-50.
Yeah. Nishkov was a bad pick, 20 years old instead of Pinelli. I'm mad. Yeah, they went for an overager. At this point in the draft, though, it's kind of crazy the amount of Alex Chiernik being a Flyer makes me a little angry.
Chiernik's the guy that I think
a Leaf fan,
we all expected him to show up a little bit more this year, but the potential's absolutely there, and he feels like a Philly pick.
Loved Alex Chiernik. It's so mad. It's so maddening.
I had a weird feeling. I think I put him in my second round at the beginning of July. And I just had a weird feeling he was going to drop and not perform, but the potential's there.
Yeah, all of Vancouver's picks have been like the top part of their draft has all been defensemen, and then they've taken a few forwards in a row here. There goes Uhalak. Hey, look at that.
Yeah.
We were talking about that earlier. He might not get drafted, but there he goes to the Nashville Predators.
Hey, you know what? And Nashville has been a team to take a Finnish goaltender. Yeah. So if there was a team to do it, it was Nashville.
Pekarine's poking Buddy on the shoulder like, hey,
right.
Hey, see that guy? See that guy available? You should take that guy.
Mm-hmm.
My two boys go Colby Barlow and Larry Keenan. Successful draft. Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Michael Laughlin. I feel like if you're
PGA,
that's goalie available.
Yeah.
Vancouver, I feel like they really did need to kind of draft to build towards a better core around Quinn Hughes, because Quinn Hughes isn't enough. They really do need more D, I felt like. You might not be happy with it, but they gotta readdress their whole roster, and it starts with
Cam Squires, dude.
Top 5 pick for best name in the draft, Cam Squires.
I'm actually surprised he went this far down.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good pick for Jersey.
Who would you have them pick instead, Michael?
I could care less. I mean, let's go for.
I understand. I understand Vancouver's philosophy, at least behind what they're doing.
This guy, though, this guy,
yeah,
could be good.
He could be very good. He could be a good fit for the team too. That's the thing. Like, I'm sure they wanted to pick maybe Simashev, but not available.
Juha is an overager. I'm surprised more teams don't pick. As we were talking about earlier, if you're going to pick a goalie, I think a lot of the times it should be an overager, especially in like the 4th to 6th round goalies. You're not going to pick you might have a draft eligible goalie at they're not quite there yet. Goaltenders take a while There goes Luca Cagnoni. Oh my God. Finally. San Jose.
Yeah, if a team's gonna take Daniel Baruch, though, it's gonna be Carolina.
Which means
Cam Allen
is the last.
Does Cam Allen get drafted?
My God, if Cam Allen doesn't get drafted, I'm going to throw up everywhere. Just like Bedard, to see him next season, 2024. I really think Arizona messed up their first picks. What do you think, Simashev and Boot?
No, that was Arizona picking Simashev was the right choice.
I love
Dmitry Simashev is the best defenseman in this draft. Be happy. You are sitting with the best defenseman that you could have gotten. Daniel Boot, he is
take it or leave it.
That's a guy where you have to be sure that you can develop the side of his game, just the hockey IQ, just the way he doesn't see the ice very well. He's got the physical attributes of an athlete to be a hockey player. He's got the potential. He is missing a lot, though, from his game. But that being said, absolutely could be a top 6 big kind of, just a powerful Russian kind of forward. I think that Boots, I wouldn't have taken him there, but you can't be. He was going to go to Arizona eventually because they've done this where they've reached and taken a prospect out of Russia that people were kind of questioning. Simashev should have gone at 7. That's just 7. Yeah, correct. Like that is just where he should have gone. That he was like the 7th best in this draft anyway.
6.
6.
Reinbacher 5. Arizona 6.
Arizona 6. He is just that good. So don't, if you're Arizona and you're like, oh, who is this? Don't be mad about Simashev. Daniel Boot, maybe.
Yeah, you can maybe be mad about Boot, but
yeah, who knows about Simashev? You never know with the Russia factor, and you never know with defensive defensemen. They tend to fall. We've talked about remember 2021 Stanislav Svozil. He's the guy I always go to that people said he could be a top 15 pick. And where did he go? Like 60?
He's Czech.
Yeah, he's Czech.
He's Czech, not Russian.
Oh yeah, no. I just as an example of
defensive,
a very defensively minded defenseman, and they just tend to fall because it's easier maybe to replace them. And I think Simashev might have been a candidate to fall. I thought he was going to fall to Toronto, but no, I you never know with a guy like him. He can go 7th. He can go last in the first round. Who knows?
I thought you just got drafted.
I know, right? Aram Manitian. He is Armenian. He is a U.S. national team development program. Yeah. He's one of the defensemen that kind of fell around. He was on my list just as a joke because he is Armenian, and I love that. But
how many Armenian players have there been? It's just Bogosian, right?
That have played?
That have really played.
Yes.
Like a couple of guys might have stuck the toe into the NHL or not. But
2021, Buffalo drafted Steven Sardirian out of Russia. Not gonna play in the NHL.
Not gonna play there?
No, God, no. He's not the best player. So that was a huge reach. Aram Manitian, I think he has a chance. He has definitely to be like the second Armenian player.
Cool. Saying NHL comps being Eric Brandstrom and Sam Girard.
Those are not great comparisons.
I don't know about that. I think they just picked 2 names out of a hat.
And why would you want to be compared to either of those players? I'm not sure.
I mean, they're both NHL defensemen.
Yeah, fair.
Carolina on the clock. If you do it to me, Carolina. Don't do it to me, Carolina. I don't know when the Leafs are picking, but it's coming. It's
150 something.
150 something.
Hawks. Go for Allen? Oh. Maybe.
Hawks go for Allen?
They could use a D.
Getting so close, dude. The Leafs pick is 153.
Yeah. Who you hoping for? Try not to jinx it to Cam Allen?
I'm trying to get Cameron Allen there.
Yeah.
I would just explode if that happened. Our boy. Is that a? Yeah, boy. Albert
Milic? Ooh.
Bookman.
Yeah, no, that'd be a good pick for them. They definitely could use a goaltender. We're at a point where picking your goalie, you just have to kind of have faith in that goaltender, though.
Yeah, Miller, he was the overager, right? That's, again, another Thomas Milic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's 20. He had a great season for Seattle, dude. He had a great World Juniors.
It was the World Juniors.
But he's 6 foot.
Yeah.
Even. Which
you'll only ever be a backup at best at 6 foot.
Unfortunately, that's what teams are going to look for goaltenders. Is a lot of the times is literally just size.
Mm-hmm.
Tried to fill in Quentin Musty on me there. Speaking of goalies, Quentin Miller.
Right, and like you just said, Montreal, if we're going for another goalie, this is them going for another goalie. Milic, though, just too small. I feel like players at a goalie at that size, you just kind of have to wait to see, yes, at the WHL level, goalies can handle being 6 feet tall. But you need to see how they progress, maybe at a slightly higher level, to really kind of commit to them. And a draft pick, you really just want to, you're going for huge upside here. And does Milic have the upside of being a starter? And the answer is no. Because there's not going to be a 6 foot tall goaltender unless they're absolutely on fire. And Milic is good, but not that good.
For comparison, Quentin Miller was just picked for goaltender. He's 6'3".
Yeah.
He's a French goalie, so that's neat. He's from Montreal. He was the 11th ranked North American goalie. So it kind of shows you, but he's 6'3".
Mm-hmm.
So I bet you he was considered way ahead of Thomas Milic. Unfortunately, just how it is. I don't like that.
Rodman Dionizio.
Any Italians in the chat? It's very Italian.
In San Jose with Axel Landon.
Defenseman being taken here. Oh, yeah, he's 20. Yeah. Kings are drafting really well. I like the Kings are gonna be so good, dude. Oh my god! Every time I think I'm like, oh right, they have Pierre-Luc Dubois now, and they're gonna be able to run Kopitar, Dubois, and Deneau down the middle, and that makes me shiver a little bit.
Quinton Byfield.
To not even mention him.
He's going to be ready very soon. He's going to explode. When he gets to NHL ready, he'll just be NHL ready. Not there yet.
Oh, Axel Landon here. The Sharks, 6'1", Swedish defenseman. The Swedish Junior League had 10 goals and 6 assists in 44 games, and they say mobile, physical, stay-home defenseman.
Marcel! I've been waiting so long.
Marcel!
I have no idea. I've been waiting years to hear this get called.
Big dubs, Marcel.
And not that Milic will be bad, just in a draft philosophy scenario, you wait for him and you pick him a little bit later. That's just... Not that I'm low on him by any means, but for draft philosophy, size equals potential for goaltenders. And when you're picking for potential and you want to swing, you want to aim for the rafters, that's where you're picking a goalie with size because they have literally the physical potential to be, better, rather than a goalie like Milic, maybe at 6 feet. Maybe he's already reached his potential and he's just a really good WHL goaltender. Eric Polka.
Another defenseman for San Jose in quick order.
Yeah, Marcel, if he does make the NHL, announcers will love him.
Yeah. Montreal on the clock again.
Got a chance, low chance. Bottom 6 kind of energy guy, probably. One of the guys you expect maybe 3 to 5 years of a kind of career, a couple games, but I don't know if there's, I don't know what the upside is.
Sam Harris.
That's a good pick for Montreal.
Just need to Google something about this guy real quick. Is this
You're not gonna.
No, I know. Is this related to Buddy?
He was the above ager.
No, he's
no.
Because there's a Harris on Montreal.
Can I see his stats again? Yeah.
USHL,
Yeah.
Sioux Falls
Committed
Stampede.
to, yeah.
University of Denver.
Mm-hmm. I'm not surprised he wasn't drafted last year. Sioux Falls, the Stampede are a very bad team. So it's really hard to look good sometimes, and though he did look really good in the USHL this year, so. Melkirk Denley.
I looked at a lot of goalies this year. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, it wasn't on your goalie list.
No.
And a lot of times, goaltenders, is first year draft eligible.
First year draft eligible. He's big, Swedish. Okay. Oh, he played everywhere this year.
Wow.
Oh, he played in the Etten League. He played
Etten.
mostly in Hockey Etten.
Makes sense.
That's why I don't know who he is.
A lot of goaltenders in every
Oh, he played in Sweden.
and every
Yeah,
program
teams
will
do.
jump up and down a lot. They'll play the J20 regional, they'll play the J20 national, they'll play the J18 regional, J18 national. Like they'll play in each of the levels of all junior leagues, just because those levels exist. For goaltenders, a lot of up and down movement, backups this day, that day. So I feel like he might have gone a little bit overlooked because he didn't play as much.
Now
Yeah,
in
Jeremy
Washington.
Martin, Zach Bogosian, he is Armenian, so, but, and Steven Sardarian, he's Armenian as well. He was picked in 2021. I do feel like Aram Minitian will be the second to play in the NHL. Cameron Allen, 136 to the Washington Capitals. That's a good pick. They're going to get the best out of him. Okay.
Falling out of my chair. I knocked out all my stuff. Dang it.
Kyle
We were
Hagen?
so
Oh, okay.
close.
I didn't know about Kyle Hagen.
We were so close.
Oh yeah, Sadorian, he's also available too. I don't know if he'll play though. He's good, but I don't know if he's like NHL. I don't know. That's like what he wants. Yeah, Cam Allen.
Cam Allen, that concludes our draft.
All our rankings.
All our rankings.
Everybody's
all
off.
of our mock draft is down. Man, so close, dude. Cameron Allen almost dropped all the way to Toronto. Frick.
Detroit, Jack Fallon. Cam Allen is in the building. Waited a long time, but he does seem pretty excited to be there. He is a good kid. They have him listed at 6 feet tall. He plays bigger.
Bigger than that, yeah.
He plays much bigger. Like when we watched him a year and a half ago, he was about 5'10". Like he has grown in the years. I feel like there's maybe because he looked so big, maybe it wasn't actually weighed and measured correctly, but like he's still getting bigger, and I think there's another edge to his game. The potential for Cam Allen, I see second line defenseman, second pairing guy. It's very clear that he's very responsible, he's a great skater, doesn't have the elite edge offensively, but pair him with a guy who kind of does, put him on a line, he's going to be a great defenseman for you. So for Washington, they have some really, really, really great prospects right now, so I don't think you need a high power, high octane offensive defenseman. A guy like Cam Allen's perfect just to solidify the back end. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Dmitry Orlov.
A little bit.
In the way that they're going to fill out the role in Washington. Maybe not so much stylistically, but just as the role they have.
Yeah, where they're pegging him as in the future. But he's gonna have to play a lot better this year.
Yeah.
I think he will.
Yeah.
Alexis Legault's gone. Oh.
Yay. Thank
Hey,
you for subscribing.
Our notifications are working. David Starr just subscribed. What's up? Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Appreciate you. Welcome.
And that puts Ottawa on the clock. Not many names left that I'm too interested in. Timur Mikonov. He'd be a guy I'd love to see. Matthew Andonovsky. Okay. Ottawa always knows who they want. They do weird reaches. They do some odd scouting.
Another defenseman.
Yeah. They need to look at their defensemen going forward. They have some pretty good forward prospects. They don't really need. Thank you, Frank Easy.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Sometimes the subscriber notification pops up. Sometimes it doesn't. I don't know what's going on.
Scott Ratzlaff to the Buffalo Sabres.
Wow.
I feel like Matthew Andonovsky is a typical Ottawa defenseman draft. You look back at like a guy like Ben Rogers back in 2021, where it's just a shutdown old school defender. Ottawa's taking, I think they have like 5 or 6 guys now on their reserve list that are just very typical 6'3" to 6'4" defensive defensemen that they're just banking on like 5 or like a bunch of them at the same time.
Alert box popping off. Let's go. Riddler1707, appreciate you for subscribing. Thanks so much.
Wow, OMG, cool. Any opinion on Reinbacher? Yeah, I actually love David Reinbacher. I've been watching him for years now. He sparked my interest. I watched him play in the Swiss National League. He is really good. I think he still has a lot of room to develop, but he exemplifies the new, modern, shutdown defender that isn't the old school defensive defenseman. The way that Reinbacher shuts you down is in the offensive zone. He knows when to pinch. Offensive zone, neutral zone. He's denying the opposing offense before it even starts. Quick turnovers in the neutral zone. In a system like Montreal, you know he's going to get paired with Lane Hudson. He's going to deny the opposing offense in the neutral zone, pinch, hold him up against the boards, uses his reach really well with his stick, knocks the puck to Lane Hudson, who's going to create offensive chances. So if you're Montreal, yes, maybe a little bit of a reach. But
good for Montreal, I think.
Yeah, but he's the right guy. Mikhail Ilyin, this is a guy who went off of a lot of people's boards. This is Pittsburgh really diving into their Russian scouting. We've known for a long time that Kyle Dubas will pick out of Russia. I think this is Kyle Dubas right now. I think he came into Pittsburgh and said, you know what, guys? I'm going to pick my guy. I've been scouting this guy all year. He's pretty good. He's gotten his chance at the KHL even. So we'll see. I think that Ilyin's a guy who's gone under-scouted. He's not going to get caught by a lot of scouts, but Kyle Dubas had his eye on him.
Your opinion on Oliver Moore other than his speed, Alex?
What else is there? He's so fast.
He's not just fast. He's a good skater. Like he uses his edges well.
Yeah, he's mechanically very sound. Very gifted as a skater, not just quick, but like mobility and everything. I think he does a little bit too much.
Nowhere Productions, thanks so much.
So when Oliver Moore can really use his skating as a tool, he's just a good skater. I'd love to see him be a good skater that takes the puck out of the D zone and on the PK. I'd like to just use his skating better. He's a great skater, but is he the smartest skater? And this is where a team, if you're picking him, you're going to have to say, hey, I need to not just teach him, it's Washington, teach him how, he's already a great skater, but just how to use these tools to be effective in the offensive zone, be effective in the defensive zone. And I really think that he can be, and he has all the tools there, so.
Well, the things are working.
Yeah.
Wow, OMG, cool. Thanks so much.
Well, thank you for asking. Thank you for being here. We're Dopemon, two best friends that love to talk hockey, news, analysis. We're big on the draft. This is our favorite time of year, so really thank you guys for being here. Yeah, Montreal with three goalies now.
3 goaltenders. They really don't like their goaltender depth, I guess, and they just want to get some good players out of the way. Who are some notable players left? Honestly, it's in the point of the draft for me where I'm struggling to find like really notable guys.
Yeah.
Like I think they're all gone. You might see some overagers from previous years not play. There are a couple Russians that you had your eye on.
Emil Yarventi.
Yeah. Right. Emil Yarventi hasn't been picked.
I'm surprised he hasn't been picked. Timur Mukanov.
Yeah.
He's a guy.
Well, yeah, the Blackhawks win this draft.
Mm-hmm.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, they win this draft solely for Connor Bedard. But also, Moore, not a bad pick.
Mm-hmm.
One of them has to work out, yeah. They're definitely using some bullets on goaltenders. Blackhawks win, Buffalo close second. I'd say, yeah, Buffalo has had a very, very good draft. Even beyond Bedard, yeah.
I'm going to double check my list to see.
Yeah, you can go double check that. For sure. Justin Gill was picked. Let me see. Has they updated for Buffaloes yet? They haven't. I hate it here. Winnipeg Jacob Julian is off the board. Yeah, there's a couple overagers that could go. Matthew Mania, Armania, Emilio Arventi, Oscarson, Fink, Leslie, Des. Yeah, some good names, Janice. You're really coming through here. Appreciate it. Flyers might be smiling with Michkov, but what do you think? If they aren't competitive by the time he walks like Lindros. I think the reports out of Philly were that he's met with the Flyers management and he wanted to be a Flyer specifically. I know they were, really hoping he would drop to them, and then he did. He met with that organization a couple times. It's a prestigious organization. I don't think he walks. I think it's more likely that he just never comes over, to be honest. But if you're Philly, you could, at 7, have the second best player in the draft. Without a doubt. Guys should check out Justin Poirier for next year's draft. He plays for my hometown, Belcomo. His brother was drafted 3rd round for the Flames. Yeah, I remember Poirier from the other year. He was a good player. He dropped. I remember I might have had him in my 1st round, and then he dropped into like the 3rd. Kevin Becker to Detroit. Yeah, I need to update my list. I'm a little behind. As a Habs fan, pretty disappointed they didn't pick Michkov. You have a lot of defensemen in Nowhere Productions. The Habs have a lot of defensemen. I didn't have them picking Reinbacher. I think I had them picking Will Smith because I had Michkov going to San Jose. But I was surprised they took a defenseman. But Reinbacher is not a bad player. I think people are freaking out a little too hard about that. I think that's a good pick for you, and it's a potential top line defenseman. And you don't get those very often. You have to pick them when they come up.
How far did you get?
They're here. That's where we are.
Did that guy?
I haven't done that.
Blue Jackets get A++ for their 1st round pick. Yeah, they got 2. Dalibor Dvorsky, I think, absolutely has the potential to be that 2nd line center. Otto Stenberg will be their 3rd line center. They got Zach Balduke too. Of course, Rob Thomas is there. They have down the middle. They're set now. If you're a St. Louis Blues fan, you're happy with just their center depth. Can't go wrong. Why did Perreault drop so low when he had more points? Yeah, he actually had the most points by a U.S. National Team Development Program player ever in U.S. History. He dropped because he can't skate. He can skate, he's just not a great skater. And the U.S. program often highlights and develops skill more, and sometimes I feel like skating does fall off the training, and I think this is where just a lot of teams looked at him and said, hey, your skating doesn't project to be at the NHL level.
Brandon Man 79, thank you for subscribing, dude. Appreciate it. Love that these things are finally working. We haven't had alerts in a long time. Who's the best value pick in the draft? Best player with the lowest pick. Right now, it could be Cameron Allen because he dropped so far.
Yeah.
So incredibly far. I think he's going to be an NHL player. I don't know what his ceiling is like after this year being as weird as it was, but that might, we're a little biased because we like Cam Allen, but that would be definitely up there. I would have picked Ryan Leonard if I was Ken Hughes. Yeah, right. Dude, Ryan Leonard is so good. And he fits well, I think, for Montreal. But
oh, hey, there goes Milic to Winnipeg.
Thomas Milic, and Toronto's finally on the clock. There we go. We were wondering if Milic would even get drafted this year. He does, to Winnipeg, so that's awesome.
And I get that you have to take a chance, maybe on Milic, but yeah, it is a tough name to call because you gotta maybe either see something really high on him, be willing to overlook, or maybe you just want to bolster your goalie prospects a little bit. Toronto goes for Hudson Malinowski.
I have to look into him. Funniest moment, the guy making the pick for Montreal couldn't remember Reinbacher's name. Yeah, Carey Price. Carey Price. A legend. Forgot totally. The last time I remember that happening was when Claude Giroux was picked. And I'm blanking on his name now, but the whoever did it at the time, the executive forgot completely, and he was like, "Oh shoot, I forgot!" And then he turned around and asked, "Whoops, I accidentally moved Larson down. That's not what I meant to do." Hudson Malinowski. There's that. Chase Cheslock goes to New Jersey. I recognize that name.
That's a good pick. They'll get an NHL player out of Cheslock for sure.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, who knows at this point?
I feel like New Jersey's a team that is able to get the best out of their defensemen somehow, and they'll be able to get be able to get the best out of him at least. Whatever his potential is, his peak, I feel like New Jersey's gonna get it.
Malinowski, that's an overager.
And reach. One of the very few overagers so far. AJHL.
He played for the AJHL Brooks Bandits.
That's a very interesting.
I don't think the Leafs have ever picked out of the Brooks Bandit system.
No.
Not a long time.
It's an odd. You can wait for a guy like this. You don't have to take Hudson Malinowski in the 5th round. You can wait. You can break this into 2 7ths and take him again.
College.
Maybe being getting accepted into Providence College, he's going to be in the NCAA. Maybe it took, a little bit of attention to him.
Brooks is basically a WHL team, yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
They're far and away the best team in that.
Mm-hmm.
They win almost every year. They're also great to work with from a production side.
Yes.
Working with Hockey TV, Brooks Bandits were a great team to work with. Great group of people there. Thoughts on the Hawks drafting Guy and first goalie off the board? I was surprised that he was the first goalie off the board. I liked what he did for Slovakia, but I had Trey Augustine as my top ranked goalie, who ended up going 3rd. After Hrabel, I think. No way Milic over Russo. Milic, I think, has the benefit of having the great World Junior campaign there with Canada. So it gets a little bit more notoriety than other places. Not much for hockey, but back then I thought only Lakeland a few years ago, best sport so far. I still remember Columbus beating Tampa in 2019. We all try to remember that as much as possible. That was such a crazy series.
Melvin Strahl.
The
goalie is Jackson Parsons.
Where did Hrabel go?
Jackson Parsons also hasn't been drafted. He's a goalie I'm surprised maybe a team didn't take a chance on. Hrabel went to Arizona, 38th overall.
Yeah. Good pick for Arizona. Needing a goalie, for sure. Melvin.
It's a good pick for Columbus, though.
A lot of goalies
And
going.
Dallas taking Arno Tiafense.
Longer term question: how much better in the standings can this draft make Chicago, or is it more like look at them after 2 seasons?
2 seasons.
Well,
I like Bedard, but I don't know if that's enough to make
hockey's
them
a team
like,
game.
Yeah, right. You need to be patient with Chicago. They will be better, and they'll show signs of, hey, look, there's a lot of promise here, but then they'll lose like 10 games in a row or something. So don't be patient, but be hopeful.
Yeah, I still think they're going to have a top 10 pick next year. Right? Just based on how their season's going to go. I don't think Connor Bedard fixes all the problems there. They still have a lot of issues, but they're up and coming. You know, having Connor Bedard makes them interesting in a few seasons.
Carolina taking another Russian with Ruslan Kazayev.
Kazayev. Another goalie. All the goalies.
3 goalies in a row.
3 goalies in a row here.
There's like 5 in the 5th year.
Yeah. If the Hawks had drafted Crystal at 35 and Guyan with another one of their plethora of second rounders, I'd have given them an A+++. Yeah, 100%. Crystal dropping as far as it did was shocking, to be honest.
It was shocking, but I'm also not I predicted that at the very beginning of the year. I was like, if he doesn't get what teams are looking for, he won't make the first round, and he didn't. There it is. You know, he didn't have
another goalie.
He didn't really fill the hole. He didn't really improve the way that teams were really kind of hoping. 4 goalies in a row. When was the last time 4 goalies were taken in a row in the draft?
I don't know.
Never.
Never?
This might be it. Who knows? I'm going to have to look at every single draft for 100 years now.
They're looking at Philly's pick so far. Great plethora of players. Bonk, Bjarnason, Zagraven, Barkey, Cole Knuble, Alex Chernik. Philly's done a really good job, too.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, with Michkov being there.
Yeah.
Their jewel pick. Have we missed anybody here? Why can't I scroll up?
And Arizona taking Justin Kipke. He's a guy I thought might have been gone a little higher. Yeah, guys who are still on the board. We have Emil Yarventi. We have
surprised he's not gone.
We have Rainer's Rulers out of Latvia.
Oh,
he's a guy who kind of dropped, but there's a lot of potential there as well. I'm surprised that a team kind of just hasn't taken a chance on the Latvian. Even guys like, I feel like he's going to be an above-ager. Lucas St. Louis. USHL. There's not a lot of hype on him, but just being, Martin St. Louis' son.
He's not draft eligible, is he?
Yeah, Lucas St. Louis.
Oh, yeah. He's so tiny.
Yeah, he's tiny. He's a defenseman, right? Like, it's...
I thought he was draft eligible next year. No? I'm tripping. Overall, how much of a risk is taking some of the Russian players? I've heard a lot of chat about possible difficulties with some guys committed, as well as uncertain political situations. Yeah, obviously there's...
It's 50-50.
Yeah, it depends on the player. Like, you get lucky with some Russians are actually over here already, but...
I feel like it's more of an individual thing.
It seems to not have scared many people off.
Yeah, it doesn't scare off teams as much. It definitely is like, is this player willing still? I feel it's more of a case-by-case basis and not just kind of like a blanket on all, prospects from a nation. Like, clearly Arizona, over the past few seasons, has been very willing to take out of Russia. Even reach. They took Artem Duda last year. They took, or 2 years ago. No, last year. Yeah,
last year.
They took Simashev, they took Daniel Boot. They're willing to, take Russians. Even Carolina, last year, they took Alexander Perevalov. They took Gleb. Trekazov.
Go Jets, I'm a Jets fan. What's up, buddy?
And I think more...
They've had a good draft.
You have to wonder, is a team able to... Let's say Matvei Michkov is missing a certain aspect of his game. Does Philadelphia drafting him say, can I develop him? If he's away from my team for 3 years and have no control over his development, can I still get that into him? Is that much of a risk? And I think teams are willing to do it.
You're an Islanders fan.
And Carolina, another. See, Carolina, like we said about the Russia factor, some teams are willing to do it. Carolina last year, they took the Russian wingers that fell. Carolina this year, they took the Russians that fell. They took Alexander Rykov, right?
Yeah, they're like, if no one's going to take him, we'll take him.
Absolutely. And Mukhanov is the guy who could have gone in the third round. And this is where maybe the Russia factor matters for a team like Colorado, New Jersey, who just picked. But Carolina saying, hey, we'll take the free gift.
Washington drafted Crystal right before Detroit at 40, and Cameron Allen right before Detroit at 136. It felt personal. I wonder how often you really get sniped as a GM.
Yeah.
You're about to announce Cameron Allen, and then the team before you takes him. God, you want to throttle somebody. I wonder how often you get, because fantasy drafts I get sniped constantly and I get pissed off. So
last one.
Hello, what was Habs' 144 pick? Habs took
Yevgeny Volokin. Their third goaltender in the draft. They're really, really, really unsure, I guess, of their own goalie pool, and they want to add to it.
3 goalies.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought there was another one.
Yeah, I really thought that the Ducks would start today taking Andrew Crystal. Cole Brown. That's the one I'm surprised he fell, too. To New Jersey here.
Cole Brown, yeah. Yeah. I think they're not into Primo. Yeah, they seem to be moving off of Primo. I think Primo requires waivers heading into this season, so it's possible that he gets waived and picked up. And I don't think they're really into him. Brown. And Marty St. Louis didn't get drafted. So.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, fair.
maybe his kid's not.
I think I made that joke.
Either. Yeah,
when I was doing Linka.
Well, it's Primo, Allen, and Maltonbo. Either one, sign one for a year or two until these guys are ready to trust Primo. Yeah, it's tough. I think Montembeault had a good season, man. I liked what Montembeault did.
Mm-hmm.
When is Winnipeg's next pick? A good question. I don't know.
Chucky eventually. Yeah, they can't keep all the goalies, but it is a good problem to have for Montreal right now that they have enough goalies. Because they need the goalies. You need to actually invest in them. And hey, some miss, some whatever, but you pick the best of them and you go forward.
Winnipeg has a 7th round pick.
And that's it. They got one more pick.
Their 7th. Yeah. I don't know exactly what number that is, but they'll be picking in the last round. Unless they trade up for one.
You think Allen will be on? Yeah. Jake Allen. I feel like he's the guy that'll probably go to.
I think it's honestly going to be Primo. I don't think they're going to be able to sneak him through waivers. I think they're going to try.
The wrench power, I agree. I think that Winnipeg definitely won that trade, but at the end of the day, LA still gets the better player in Pierre-Luc Dubois, and I think that kind of when we look back, just like the Eichel trade, this is going to be a win for both teams. Winnipeg got the value. It is really hard as a team to have a player come in and say, I don't want to be here, I want to trade, and then trade him and get good value. So for Pierre-Luc Dubois to actually get value on return, that's incredible. That means they won the trade. It was a great return too. And for LA, you know what? They gave up a little bit extra, but they got a guy who's going to be now their, second line center. Compete maybe for the first. Maybe take Anze Kopitar's spot. Put a little bit less pressure on him. Kopitar's ready to the tail end of his career. I think that it's just a really good trade for both teams.
A lot of goalies going in this area.
This is the time when you're like, all the good guys, off the board. Timur Mukhanov, Cole Brown just got taken off. Maybe we're sitting at a point where they're like, okay, our goalies that we're just kind of high on, we want to keep them.
Braden Pelletier, thank you so much for subscribing, dude. Appreciate you. Thanks so much for hanging out today. It's our favorite time of the year, man. I love the draft.
Just based off of the way the draft's been going, I think we're probably going to cover the whole thing, aren't we?
He's moving pretty quick.
Yeah.
And why not? We're just hanging out.
Yeah.
Leonard.
Yeah, Quentin Musty over Andrew Crystal. There's definitely a thing to be said for both. I feel like Musty's a little bit safer, is more well-rounded. I don't like Quentin Musty. I think that what he's missing in his all-round is huge. I think there's a lot missing, but a lot of people are pretty high on him. Andrew Crystal, he has a lot, and he's only missing a few things, but what he's missing, a little bit over commitment and stuff, I think that it's so big. There's such a huge gap in his game, even if it's only one or two things, that I get why a player like that fell. And if you go watch my mock draft way back, almost a year ago, back in July, when I did a preseason one, I said the same thing about Andrew Crystal. He's got all the tools, but if he doesn't kind of overcome his deficits, he's going to stay in the second round, and he did.
Nikita Nadopkin. Almost dope. We should find all the NHL players with dope in their name.
Oh my god.
And draft them onto a team.
The dope team.
The dopest team in the NHL. And Jets are so stacked with forwards right now, expecting a bunch to go in trades this offseason. Morrissey and Dillon, Wheeler buyout. Yeah, we're talking about whether the Wheeler was going to be bought out or traded last night or dumped. I don't expect Wheeler to be bought out. It's too good to just be bought out.
And Josh Morrissey needs help.
Year.
He does need support. Help. He can play all these minutes, but should he have to, he's going to get hurt. He's going to injure himself. I've seen that with Thomas Chabot in Ottawa. You give a defenseman 30 minutes a night and he thrives, eventually he'll break his ankle, he'll twist something, he'll strain a muscle, and then he'll need 20 games off. And it's better to just get your star defenseman good support, reduce his numbers a little bit. You don't need your star defenseman playing 30 minutes a night. You need him playing 22, 24 against the right matchups. You don't want him playing, when you don't need him to. You need the support so you can put your best defenseman against the best players coming against him. I always use the comparison, Connor McDavid. Do you want your star defenseman playing 30 minutes, then taking a shift against Connor McDavid? Or do you want him playing 22 minutes so he can focus on Connor McDavid, really make sure that he's in prime condition for their best scorers? And that's where a guy like Josh Morrissey, and for Winnipeg, you need to find a little bit more support for him so that he can take, more of a lead against the star guys, and Winnipeg can be better defensively. Yeah, thank you, Wrench Power. We love hockey. We're Dopemon, two best friends. We love talking hockey news, analysis. We love the draft. This is our favorite time of year. It's our Christmas. We make a list, our Christmas list, wish list, and
a Christmas list.
And we're all about, we love hockey so much. We love to keep it, about hockey, even if sometimes we drift in, into the comments. We love talking about hockey, using our knowledge on hockey and bouncing off each other. We both have very diverse opinions and knowledge base from hockey, so.
Appreciate it, Wrench Power.
Joseph Mahoney, Ivan Demidov. He's going to be big out of Russia. Big Russian prospects. I feel like Michkov has the skill. Demidov has the more complete overall game. He could definitely compete for, top 3.
Pittsburgh on the clock here. They're looking around like they're trading it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, they did.
Nope.
Cooper Foster. They're looking around because they already made the pick. That's why.
French Power, your dad played in the NHL. Close friends with Mark Stone, Revo, John Taves, and Dale Weiss. That's pretty cool, man. That's awesome.
Damn, dude, that's awesome. Who's your dad, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, right? Seriously.
If you don't mind us asking. But, the only ties I have to hockey is I played very briefly with the Ritchie brothers because they grew up in my hometown, Brett and Nick Ritchie. But as far as current NHL players, that's all I really have ties to. I know my dad knows a guy who's married to, or not married to, I guess dating, because I don't think they're together anymore. Tyler Sagan's mother.
And Daniel, Dmitry.
All I got.
Bichelnikov loves us.
Oh yeah, Dmitry Bichelnikov, friend of the channel.
For those of you that don't know, in 2021, I was scouting out of Russia made a scouting report on Dmitry Bachelnikov, and Dmitry Bachelnikov, who ended up being drafted in 2022 in the second round by Detroit, he found my video on him and commented, and it was quite the honor that I've never had that experience before. My brother played... Braden Schneider. Yeah, Braden Schneider, I like him. He's tough. He's a tough customer. Graham Barker, NHL. Graham Barker, Oh, Graham. Yeah, you spelled it wrong.
Oh, Cam Barker is also my cousin. Neat.
Oh, well, that's cool. No, that's seriously a hockey family, right? Like, it runs legit. On the... And did you ever play French? How high, if you did play?
Following in the family footsteps. Cooper Foster also a dog or what? Yegorov.
Yegorov.
I know that guy. I like that goalie.
Yeah.
That's a good goalie. Zach and Zachary Schultz.
And then Dylan Rubrick.
Zachary Schultz and Yegorov. You don't give analysis over here? I mean, we try.
Yeah, the draft's moving pretty quick. We try and pick out the best guys. Sometimes we go back.
We're not going to be able to talk about everybody, but... And to be completely honest, I am kind of slowly tapping out in the guys that I know a lot about. Mm-hmm. Like, I know Yegor Yegorov. I scouted him a little bit. Decent goalie. I expected him to be drafted, but if you want me to really break down all the Zachary Schultz, I don't know if I can. I'm not gonna lie. Surprised the Habs have been this inactive. Yeah, me too. I was expecting them to make at least a couple trades, not even for players, but just moving up in the draft for sure. I was goalie, didn't break anything further in AAA. Had a bad car accident, meshed up my knee. It's too bad, dude. We were both goalies too, actually.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I played AA. That's as far as I got. I wasn't amazing.
I sucked. I'm 5'9". I was awful.
5'9". You're a mobile ass goalie.
Yeah, I was very mobile, but still 5'9".
Appreciate the stream and the commentary. Thanks, Brandon. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for hanging out with us.
And Danny, Braden Yeager, you know what? MVP, I don't know, but
Braden Yeager, future MVP.
But if he gets a chance to start his career with Malkin or Crosby ending it, I definitely think that he can come into the NHL and have a really good kind of rookie first 2-3 years where he has a bunch of goals, like to play with an incredible playmaker, also to keep Crosby and Malkin, add some youthful energy to their line. Zeb Forsfall, yeah, he's a guy who's fallen. There's Leo Esperjesi out of Slovakia. He's the guy who I was expecting to have to I knew he was going to fall, but I expected him to be on to play a little bit better.
Oh, Nathan Day. I knew him as Nathaniel Day. It threw me off. I'm like, who's Nathan Day? Nathaniel Day, yeah. Flint Firebirds, goaltender. I didn't love him. I watched a couple of the Flint's games. I don't know. I didn't think he moved very well, but he's definitely a guy in maybe a couple years that I would see someone taking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. He's got some work to do, but I don't mind. He's got tools to be a decent goaltender. So we're thinking like Crosby, Lemieux type beat, but Yeager and Malkin. Yeah, kinda.
Yeah, right.
Not to the extreme that Crosby was, but he's the next big thing in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, for sure. Whether or not he plays with Malkin or Crosby, even if it's just for 1 year, it'd be so good for a guy who's such a good scorer to play with playmakers like that. Power play, give him a chance. Gulls gang, we're just into the beginning of round 6 now. With New York Rangers pick
we're almost
at
done
178.
6 yeah. We're almost done 6. Oh, I need to update Ryan, get in Figured out. Ian. Tommy. And I have put them in the wrong spot.
Move them up one. Ty Henricks, that's a guy I thought might have gone up in the draft. I'm surprised he fell a little bit. Good pick for the Rangers. They're definitely going to be able to get. I think he's going to fit into their bottom six pretty well.
Henricks, cool. What do we got here? 6'3", had the size. I don't think it would have been good enough to crack the NHL roster. Yeah, that's some good size for a goalie, especially nowadays. You have to, I'm only 6 foot, like pretty even. I would never have. I would have had to be at least 6 inches taller to.
Oh, there goes Nathaniel Day.
Oh wow!
just as we're talking about it.
Wow, that's actually a little surprising.
It's not the first time that somebody in the comments said, "Hey, what do you guys think about this guy?" And we're like,
and
I don't know.
Immediately picked.
Yeah.
Like, well, Edmonton wants him.
Mm-hmm.
Why not, eh? That's cool. Good for him. Definitely something there, but I don't know if I would have taken him. Do you guys hear about the Michkov drama already? They talk about his horrible character and so on.
I mean,
I haven't heard much, to be honest. We've been focusing too much on the draft. I don't think I've opened Twitter all day.
Though, I feel like Michkov might be the most over-scouted prospect in this year's draft. Noah Chadwick. It's easy to look at Michkov and just start ripping him apart because he's been watched the most. And I don't want to get too into like, okay, he's 18 years old, attitude being a problem. Like, hey,
Andrew Gibson.
Were you at 18 the most disciplined, poised guy? Like, hey, some of these kids, especially when they're good, they're confident, they're gonna be maybe discipline or mentality. That side of the game's an issue, but with his skill, you just have to take a chance.
Chadwick. Interesting. Andrew Gibson, I pointed that out, but Alex was talking. He was a Detroit pick in the 43rd, I think. How y'all feel about the Caps draft picks so far?
Good draft.
They've had a really good draft. They took Cameron Allen.
Yeah, Cam Allen.
He's our boy.
Yeah.
So they took him.
I think he's going to be a second pair D one day.
Friend's brother is coming to Pittsburgh. He was Toronto Marlies. Supposedly he's getting an NHL contract. Who's your friend's brother, Danny? Coming to Pitt. And I'm a Leafs fan, so I might know him.
Thank you, Wrench Power. Thank you for joining us in the stream. Thanks for...
Oh, yeah, thanks, dude. Appreciate it. See you next time, hopefully. Noah Chadwick is a Leaf. It's dope. I'll have to look into him. I might be doing a Leafs specific video in a few hours, just talking about the Leafs prospects. We'll see. Looks like all the Russian players are happy to be drafted. Absolutely, yeah. They're happy to just be there, I think. Especially at this point. Caps took a dub this draft. Absolutely. Got a run, my dude. Yeah, we saw that. But Pens are big Russian lovers in this draft. Mark Johnstone. I like Mark Johnstone.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Yeah. Cool. Mark
Daniel
Johnstone.
Karpovich. That's a good pick for New Jersey. They're going to get an NHL player out of him.
Cool, dude. I would be interesting to see what Dubas steals from Toronto. Mm-hmm. Like, just little, like, small player. Like, not stealing Austin Matthews or anything, but, like, AHL guys in the system, coaching staff. Like, I'm curious, like, who he's going to, like, heist.
There's definitely going to be, I feel like, energy guys that he thinks are going to be good depth pieces. I think that Dubas is probably going to try and trade a couple of those with Toronto and just get a couple pieces then.
Yeah.
Why did your text get all... No, I'm sure.
No, you're tripping. It might have been, like, auto-filled or something.
What was it looked...
Jimmy Hansel. I need to fill out more teams, because I wasn't actually expecting us to be streaming this long.
Yeah, Hansel's a good pick for Colorado. He's a rush defender. Very, very quick. I feel like the upside probably isn't there. Is he going to be more likely a bottom pairing, maybe a PK specialist kind of guy? But it is a steal. I think that he, like, at this late in the draft, to get a guy you know is going to be, he has NHL level skating, so you know he's going to be, you know, his floor is so high, but where is his ceiling? And that's a guy like him, so I'm a little bit, you know, suspicious on a ceiling, but if a guy's floor is as high, you know, the skating is so smooth, you know, you're not going to beat him very hard on the rush. He's very focused in that sense. I think I think it's a good pick, especially late in the draft. We're kind of reaching. Every pick here's a reach.
Yeah, we're into the 7th round, guys. Winnipeg, Tampa Bay, Seattle. Minnesota, Boston, Ottawa. Oop. I went up. Shit.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay, Seattle, Minnesota, Boston, Ottawa. There we go. Edmonton, hit.
Yeah, Thomas Urinen. Him too, yeah. Emil Järventie. They're both available right now. Rainers Rulers is available. I think those are the big names for me. Emil Järventie.
Yeah, Emil Järventie not being taken is kind of crazy. Just in the name notoriety.
Mm-hmm. And he's good. He has that scoring touch. You know, he's the back of the net. He wants to find it, and I have a feeling that really surprised if he doesn't get drafted. Go back to the stream.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Urinen, I felt like was a very... I know Järventie, it's very clear, and he's a scorer, he's got a shot, it's a thing, but Urinen, there's definitely like an extra level of potential I feel like he has that I'm really surprised a team hasn't reached on him. Maybe they're seeing, hey, it just doesn't project at the NHL level, we'll see. Ooh, next year's draft, that's tough. Ivan Demidov.
I like Michael Emerson. That's a good pick for Carolina at this point. Leave it to Carolina.
I don't think it would be Dubas's decision necessarily to move Malkin to the wing.
No, it wouldn't be.
Yeah, I'd keep him down the middle, especially just given what Pittsburgh has left in the tank for them. They're definitely both, Crosby and Malkin, are ending out their career. Just keep them where they are. You know, if they need to move him to the wing, it would only be for, like, a star player like Jaeger on a power play kind of thing. Oh, there we go. Thomas Urinen.
Yep.
Yeah, you know what? He's a very... Thomas Urinen.
Pumps?
Thomas. It's Thomas.
You know what? I've been pretty good.
You didn't even spell his first name. It's T-U.
Oh, it's Thomas. I'm sorry.
He feels like a Vegas pick. Vegas, they've got something. He's going to be pretty good for them.
Englishized Thomas.
Yeah, it was like me learning that Toby is like Tobias.
Yeah.
Tobias.
Short
I'm
for
like,
that,
oh
yeah.
man.
Mads and Leslie still available.
Yeah, Cole Cormier. Yeah, the Cormiers. Madsden Leslie. Brent Sekdej. Tommaso DeLuca, he's not going to get drafted.
No.
Rimashevsky, Remazovsky, they're not good enough. Give them another year. They're both, especially Remazovsky, I felt like people thought he was going to be a second-round pick to start the year, but he just didn't. He did not take that next step. He just kind of plateaued, and when your development stagnates, especially if you're going to be in the Russian system, you're just going to get overlooked. And it's a lot harder when drafting a Russian to control their development. They're going to be held by the Russian team. They're not going to be able to come over as easily. So if you're trying to develop a player and you say, yeah, there's potential there, but he's missing X, Y, and Z, you're not going to be able to teach him that kind of stuff. You're not going to be able to get him over and help develop him. You're going to know that the KHL team is just going to get what they can out of him. And it can be very rough for teams to be picking guys. And I think Remazovsky, he's a guy that I look at and I'm like, you know what? Where he hasn't developed defensively, I don't see an NHL looking at him and saying, I'll wait 4 years to be able to teach him or just hope he learns it. There's way too much risk involved. Just give him another year or two and then draft him as an above-ager.
And, Joseph, sorry, I missed your comment before. Cole Yzerman, oh my God, is going to be so good.
Yeah.
He's draft eligible next year.
Yeah.
He's going to be like first or second overall next year.
Top 10 pick.
He's absolutely incredible. He's already doing crazy. Like, he scores at every level. U17 team, he had 43 goals in 42 games. Excuse me? Boston Junior Bruins youth team. That sucks. I hate that team. Bill Yzerman was his father, actually. Why do I recognize that name?
Tank for Yzerman. I think Cole Yzerman would be a great fit for Washington if they were to tank. And then maybe if he continues, if Yzerman projects and continues to be that number one and they do take him, then you're looking at an Alexander Ovechkin who will hit that 894 goal mark a lot sooner than you think.
Yeah, Celebrini, Yzerman, Demidov.
Demidov's an above-ager. Oh, for next year, sorry. I was thinking about Ivan Sov.
Sorry, Ivan Demidov for next year.
Yeah, he is the best.
It's going to be an interesting draft next year. It's not going to be as strong as this year, but it's going to be
the Finnish defenseman. I forget his name. Aaron Kiviharju.
Kiviharju. I forgot about
top 5 right there.
Yeah.
Yzerman, Demidov, Kiviharju.
Celebrini.
Mm-hmm.
Oiva
Keskinen.
Then we got Janne Peltonen. A lot of
Finns going.
The Finns are going here now.
Urinen, Peltonen, Keskinen. Jets can't win the cup if they don't have a goalie? Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to suck when he goes. What do we got here? Penn's looking for a trade, top 4 D-man apparently before the first. Yeah, that wouldn't shock me. I think they wanted more out of Petrie and then didn't get it, and it screwed up their plans.
Yeah, Ottawa to take Emil, Roby's brother, absolutely. I'm a huge Ottawa fan.
Yeah.
I like Roby Arventi. I think when he was picked, it was a little bit of a reach. I think he has a lot of development still, but he also has a lot of potential to be that middle six kind of scoring winger. And like Emil, Roby's huge, Emil's tiny. I think it would be kind of hilarious if they were on like opposite wings on the same line and brought different things and had like a kind of weird chemistry. I think that'd be pretty cool. And he's available, so if I'm Ottawa and I'm looking right now, he's my guy off this list.
Is David Klee related to Ken Klee? He is. Son of Kenneth Klee.
David Klee.
Leafs legend Ken Klee.
15 points 1 year with Toronto. Wow.
That is a deep cut. If you're a Leafs fan, Ken Klee, baby. Or not Ken Klee. The other one, David Klee. Can we just pick Cole Yzerman at... What is this?
You know,
I have to mute for a second. It might be Bobby.
Oh.
I'm saying. Sorry, we're back. I got a phone call. Because I think a buddy of mine's trying to get here, and he doesn't know we're live. What the hell?
It's the NHL Draft, the most important
Again!
day. Want to take it?
Missed call.
David Klee, that's pretty cool. I love seeing the sons, the children of NHL players, whether they're stars or not, and just seeing how much of, like, you know, hockey runs in their blood. Hockey, you know, is it genetic? Is hockey genetic? Let's do the studies on it. But, like, clearly, you know, there's a type of investment when a hockey player, you know, you're a hockey dad and stuff, you want your kid to be better than you. You want them to be a hockey player. We see a lot of that. And more, I feel like we're seeing a lot of kids of these stars from, you know, the 70s to 90s, and their kids are coming in now, and they're doing pretty good.
Zach, yeah. Do you want to run down and get them?
It's easier.
Yeah. you can take my keys to get back in.
You want to get him in?
Yeah, I'll get him in. Luke Middlestad.
Ooh.
That's surprising, actually, that he... I don't know, that's good. I like that.
Yeah, Luke Middlestad, he's a guy who was left on the board here. I'm pretty surprised. We're getting into the point where I'm a little bit surprised that we're not seeing more above-agers. I feel like it's just that kind of draft, I guess. Luke Middlestad. Oh, and Stepan Zviagin to Florida. They're popping off at the end of the draft here. Yeah, the Arventi brothers on the same, but they're both scorers, but very different types of scorers. And I think that, hey, if you're Ottawa and you're picking in the 200s here, and you're really just throwing darts and hoping for the best. And I feel like that's what Ottawa's probably going to have to do. That's what every team's basically doing at this point. Teo Mann going to the Philadelphia Flyers here. Sergei Ovechkin will be the number 1 pick in 2036? Absolutely. He's already... Alexander Ovechkin is like the first player to tell you, hey, I am as good as I am. I was able to, I had a lot of investment from my family, from my parents, to be as good as I was. And he doesn't say that, I became who I am overnight by chance. He knows. Ovechkin says, yeah, it's based off of just how much training I had. And he's giving his son just as much training. And I feel like Sergei Ovechkin is absolutely going to be one of the best hockey players when he is draft eligible, when he gets to that level.
Fini. Sorry, I said I'd run away for a second here, guys. I ran to get a fellow YouTuber, Cards and Zards, who's in the building.
Nikita Susiev. Yeah, that's a pretty good pick for Sam.
They're like Pokemon cards. Head over there. Ryan, did you see the rumor? What rumor? What'd I miss? What'd I miss?
Yeah, Kiviharu, Helenius. Yeah, I love Kiviharu.
Still in trade talks with Boston for Allmark. I haven't opened Twitter all day. I'm not gonna lie. I don't. If it's not happening in the draft floor, I don't know what's happening. I'll have to check it out later. What are you looking for?
I was going to put in the name.
Oh, no. I got it.
Oh, Yegor Remeshevsky. There you go. I'm not surprised he fell. Remezovsky is not going to get drafted this year. I have a feeling he needs another year to just show. Kind of like what we were saying about Cam Allen. He's the guy that, beginning of the season, is he a first, second round pick, but he just has a bad season. There's the potential still there, but...
Ottawa on the clock.
Mm-hmm. And they picked Owen Beckner.
Owen Beckner.
They had their name. It was not Emil Arventi.
Finnish hockey fan. Did you get that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Give the barrel the picks now, 100%. These picks now will never see the NHL. 7th round picks, you're just hoping for a guy that plays NHL games for you at this point.
Even if he plays one.
Yeah. You're hoping for a guy you might have one or two things does decent and plays in your bottom 6 and all this, right? And then every once in a while something crazy happens and he develops really well or figures something out and you end up with an actual decent player.
Like for instance, Ottawa drafted Ryan Dzingel.
Ryan Dzingel, Datsuk Zetterberg.
Henrik.
Huh?
King Henrik.
Henrik Lundqvist. Pekka Rinne was like an 8th round pick. You're just hoping for flash in the pan at this point.
Norwin Panoka.
Panocha? I don't know who that is.
Joe Pavelski was a 7th round pick.
Joe Pavelski, yeah. 100%. Ottawa's coming up again in a second. Neat. We're rocking right now. Oh, we dropped a little. That's fine.
Right. Wayne Gretzky was undrafted. Always remember that.
Yeah, always remember. Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah, Ty Higgins, Connor Levi. Yeah.
Roll the dice. Leagues
merged.
Yeah,
we know, Danny. We were joking. That's.
Yeah, the WHA merged.
Just bad scouting that year,
That's why I didn't win the Calder.
Yeah, because he was
technically a pro.
A pro. He was not his first pro season.
Barlow had a beard in grade 4. That's the rumor.
He said, I think
that man is a full-grown.
He said himself
30
he could do it by age 7. I think he said age 7 he could fully grow a beard.
I don't know if I need pictures.
That was his joke. But on his draft a little card or whatever they had on the Sportsnet overlay, they were his secret talent was that he could grow a beard by age 7.
What a guy, dude.
Which in Canada is grade 2.
Yeah, grade 2, year 2, whatever you want to say for where you're from. Sebastian Aho was a 5th round pick. I think he was he 5th or he was a little earlier than that. But yeah, he wasn't a 1st round pick. I think he was 2nd round pick. Actually, it depends which Aho you're talking about.
the other one, not the good one, not the center, the defenseman.
The good Sebastian Aho of Carolina was 35th overall.
Mm-hmm. He means the other one.
Oh, he means the other one. Okay.
The Swedish one.
The other Sebastian Aho. Sebastian Aho versus Sebastian Aho thread. It's amazing. But yeah, he was a late pick too. Warriors in grade 5 made him the oldest kid.
Yeah. Yeah, I swear. Yeah, he definitely walked up to the draft and you're like, are you the adult who is going to say the pick? Yeah, Luke Middlestat. I'm surprised that he wasn't drafted. I said it when he was picked a little earlier. Not as many above agers as I had suspected.
Whoa, what happened here?
Whoa.
Did we just... Now Washington picked... Wish. Is it Wish? We did this already.
It's Waz.
Should be Wish.
Antoine
Keller. Another goalie.
Yeah.
Goalies, if you're going to shoot for a 7th round pick, I feel like goaltender is a place where you can do that.
Yeah, the 5th to 7th, this is where the goalies are.
Yeah, that's where all the goalies have been taken. I think it's been half goaltenders. Joseph Mahoney, Swedish defenseman. Sebastian Aho was a 5th round pick. Finnish forward was a 2nd round pick, yeah.
Sorry. Vladimir Nikitin. Hey, that's pretty cool.
Wasn't that one of your guys?
No, it wasn't your guys. Because he actually, he is an above age goalie. I think it's SKA. No, I don't remember which one.
I recognize that name. Maybe
he is an above ager. He was on my list last year. No, I'm wrong.
BCHL again, dude. Every time.
He's
from
Kazakhstan.
Oh,
which is why.
That's why I remember. I watched Kazakhstan in the U18.
Oh, the World Junior.
I watched the D1 tournament. He was incredible, dude. That's right. All right, that's why I recognize him from. I'm like, I know that name from somewhere.
And the Bars Nur-Sultan team in Kazakhstan is their best team. He is the best Kazakhstani goaltender going forward.
That's a good pick for you guys. I like that.
Yeah, I like that too.
My Wild took a dump with their first pick. The Wild take
Calgary taking Alex Herdig.
Axel Herdig. Who did
the New York Islanders?
Who did the Islanders take?
Dennis Goodbog.
Goodbood.
Good bog.
That's such a good name, dude. I love that.
All right, he takes number 1. He beats Quentin Musty for best name in the draft.
Good boog. I love that. Who did Minnesota? Someone said Minnesota took a dump. What is Minnesota's first pick again? Oh, we already forget.
Yeah, you passed 23.
23?
Yes.
Oh, Strammel.
4-1. Yeah, I like Charlie Strammel.
Charlie Strammel.
He absolutely has the potential to earn that draft spot. He could have gone there if he played as well as he should have. I think he has it in him. Like, the potential's all there. It kind of reminds me of, like, the way that Brad Lambert, people were down on him in a very similar, just kind of didn't have the year he needed to. Yeah, somebody mentioned Connor Levi here.
Someone mentioned him before,
there.
yeah. Musty as good as people are saying? You don't like Musty.
I say no. He says yes.
Yeah, I'm a Musty guy. He's a Musty hater.
Mm-hmm.
I think he could be a really good player. I think he could be a guy that every power forward or guy that plays power forward, he gets compared to either a Kachuk brother or a Tom Wilson. He's not going to be either.
Mm-hmm.
I hate player comparisons because everyone is like, oh, no, cool, we got Tom Wilson. No, that's not what Quentin Musty is, but I think he could be a really good physical winger.
Hey.
With some skill.
Hey. Ethan Hay.
Hey.
Ethan Hay was taken by the Tampa Bay Lightning. We are getting down there.
We are almost done this draft.
The last dozen or so. Musty,
right.
a little stanky? Yeah, he's a little musty.
A little stanky.
I don't like his game. I always feel like I want more from him. And I'm like, there are tools there, but has he shown me that there's enough? And I'll say no.
Great guy Gabe making a good point. Benjamin Gaudreau is in this draft. I forgot about that. He did re-enter the draft, and I have not seen him be taken yet.
Mm-hmm. Maybe a team doesn't draft him, but...
Imagine San Jose picks him again.
Yeah, right?
It's like, nah, come back. He was a second-round pick.
I see Musty being like a 13 to 15 goals a season. I see him as like a bottom 6 pairing. Put him on an energy line, and he'll be in the right spot, but is he driving the offense? Is he leading his line? I don't know. So, I'm just not huge on him. See him as more of a very, very just classic power forward, and I don't know.
This man's name is Zachariah Wisdom.
Woo.
What a name, dude. Zachariah is spelled wild, too. It's Zacchharya.
Which is the way it should be.
No.
Yes, that's a
biblical
awesome
Zachariah?
Way. No, it's
not
just a cooler way.
Okay.
Yeah, like this is how it should be.
I thought biblically that's not how you spell it.
This is how all Zachariah should be spelled from now on.
That's wisdom.
Yeah. Real energy guy.
Cedar Rapids of the USHL.
He is an above-ager. But his production really jumped this year, and so we'll see. A lot of these, I feel like, when you're looking at above-agers, a lot of these guys are just late bloomers. Like, myself included. Like, I was, if I were to be an NHL player, I would have been a late bloomer myself. Like, some of these guys, you need the extra year or two to really see, the projection's there, and I think Zachariah Wisdom's a guy that the past year, he really showed some increase in his game, so we'll see.
The way people are talking about Musty, he's going to be playing with Smith and Eklund on the top line. He could absolutely. And you're getting two takes here because Alex's take is that he doesn't like him and I like him.
Mm-hmm. Could he play? Sure, but he wouldn't be.
He wouldn't be driving that line. Eklund and Smith would be. He'd be a very, very good elite complementary piece to any line that he plays off of, just based on the style of hockey he plays. Yeah. But I don't think with Musty he's going to be driving a line or anything.
But you could put him on the first line.
You could put him on a first line and have it work. Yeah, absolutely.
100%. Like, he can absolutely play on that line. But is he still only going to get 15, maybe 20 goals because he's maybe doing something else to lead for points? He's doing something, and it'll be Will Smith and William Eklund. But 15 goals. What do you think? I want to call him a 15-goal scorer.
I'll call him a 20. I'll call him a 25 goal scorer.
Yeah.
I think it peaks out at 25. How many goals do you think, Ryan? Yeah, 25. He says 15. I'll say 25. Could, dip his toe into the 30s maybe. I think he's got some offensive upside. But I think he's going to be utilized as a kind of energy winger, and that might hurt his offensive numbers a bit.
For sure.
But we'll see. See what San Jose wants to do.
Ottawa is not drafting Emil Järventie. They are drafting Nicholas Ventisel. So it looks like Ottawa will not be able to get both Järventie brothers.
Mine all bungled up with all the lefties on the ice. Yeah, I mean, you're taking your guys, and if all the best players available for you are left-handed, why not, right? Who cares? They're just talk about lottery tickets in the 7th round. Yeah, Emil Järventie.
Mm-hmm.
He has less than he has 8 picks, I think, to be. 9 more picks. Matt Capone.
I think if any team's going to take him, maybe Colorado, maybe Carolina, maybe Pittsburgh.
Carolina takes him.
Yeah. Because Carolina, I feel like...
I can see Dallas taking him.
Yeah.
Huh. Think he could live up to Timo Meier? I don't think he has quite as much offense as Timo Meier
Not
does.
even close.
But Timo Meier plays a physical game, and it's similar in that sense, but I don't think he has nearly enough offense in him to be Timo Meier. Timo Meier is one of the better offensive power forwards in the league. But that could be his ceiling. That could be what he shoots for. Right?
Yeah.
That's a guy that you can look at and go, I want to be Timo Meier.
Last 8 picks here. And if you're still with us in the stream, I'm guessing you're pretty hardcore hockey fans too.
Yeah.
We're Dopemon, 2 best friends, love to talk hockey news and analysis, and we love the draft. This is like Christmas for us, closing out the draft here. I'm guessing if you guys are also huge hockey fans, so let us know who's still on the board. Give us your predictions for the last 8 picks here.
Yeah. We're coming right down to the wire here.
Mm-hmm.
And we've gone pretty quick.
Yes. This is ordinarily 4 hours, and we cut out at around 5 or 6.
Yeah. So. And we've only been up for 3.5 hours, and we're almost done the draft.
Though we did miss last year.
Oh, we did miss last year.
Hey, Emil Järventie, I had a feeling.
Pity!
Pittsburgh with 2 picks here, able to not really take a reach, but kind of take a little bit of a risk.
Emil Järventie.
I'm a little bit cheesed that Ottawa didn't take him. And I get that. I felt like Pittsburgh has taken goal scorers in this draft. Brayden Yager's a goal scorer. Emil Järventie's a goal scorer. They definitely had a draft philosophy, and I'm guessing I know these guys are still a long ways out from the NHL, but maybe they're thinking this is the tail end of getting these guys into the to Carolina at 94th. Jaden Perron was checked.
Yeah, Jaden Perron went 94, dropped a ton. Dropped a ton.
Oh, Marcus Vidicek. Yeah, he's a good name.
Josh Nadeau, overager to Carolina.
Josh Nadeau was in BCHL last year?
What happened here? Why is Nashville on the clock?
They traded a pick.
Seven swapping sevens.
Yeah. Nashville took a 7th this year to trade up for a 7th next year, which means the guy that they're going for right now, they really want. Which doesn't say a lot in the 7th round, but you know what? If you're going to trade, clearly they want their guy. Francisco Delache, he was not drafted. Aiden Fink, yes. See, a lot of junior A guys, a lot of even some USHL guys, they're just going to get overlooked.
Yeah. Just behind Easton Cowan. You bugger.
Nashville. I swear, all Nashville did, they traded to get into the 7th round so that they could thank everybody. Just like yesterday, we had teams every time they came up to the podium.
David Boyle specifically.
Yeah. People. I swear, they only traded to get to this point. Aiden Fink. There you go. Fink.
How often has that happened?
That's like the 5th or 6th time that somebody said, "Hey, this guy." Thank you, Janest, for willing that into existence.
Yeah, willing that into existence.
Joseph Mahoney, Jaden Perron went 94th to Carolina.
Tyler Peddle taken? No.
No, Peddle out of the QMJHL. No, he's a big miss too, Tyler Peddle. He was probably the top QMJHL guy at the very beginning of the season. And he's not drafted. He didn't have a very good year.
David Poyle getting a little standing ovation here. That's cute. We'd love to see that.
Yeah, maybe they're listening. I swear, Nashville's sitting there watching the Dopemon stream.
Someone's got our stream up. That'd be so stupid, dude. Great pick for Carolina. It was. It was an amazing pick for Carolina.
And oh my God, William Whitelaw?
What? No, William Whitelaw was picked.
Did he go? Where did?
That's not who he means.
Who was picked by who picked Whitelaw?
Is this like an actual person? No. Whitelaw was picked, right? This does not like me right now.
Oh, he was. Columbus Blue Jackets. You're right. I was completely blanking.
Yeah. Carolina steals on my favorite players. They do.
Yeah.
They constantly do this. Every time I'm always worried about, as a Leaf, getting Carolina sniping me. Mike C, thanks for subscribing, buddy. Appreciate it. Thanks so much for hanging out.
Carolina is very willing to just take the best player available. And I think other teams, while they're playing all this big brain hockey politics, picking their guy, Carolina's like, yo, you missed Jaden Perron, I'll take him.
Yeah, guys, you missed him.
Y'all are stupid. Last, Maros Jedlička. I think.
Yeah. Jedlička.
And this brings us down to our last 5 picks. Boston, Dallas, Carolina, Pittsburgh, and Vegas. I feel like Carolina is going to make a splash, but otherwise, I feel like these last 5 picks are kind of just going to be little toss-ups. Picks off the board here.
Whitelaw went to CBJ, yeah. Soto, 42 points and almost in next year. Christian
Kostadinsky.
Can't read.
That's a good tip. I know great game guy Mike Hawk hasn't been chosen. Mike Hawk is huge.
Don't. How dare you? How dare you?
Raiders Rulers. Yeah, that's something I had said that a little while ago. I went to go run and check my list to say who hasn't been picked yet. Raiders Rulers, he didn't have quite the season people were expecting, but being in Latvia, I feel like they're just development. That's going to happen. Give him another year, maybe 2, and Raiders Rulers is just suddenly going to have this explosion. He's going to play somewhere else in Europe, and then he's going to get picked. It's a shame he wasn't drafted in his draft year, but there is a clear path to the NHL somewhere, whether that's the AHL.
Jackson Unger has not been taken yet, Brian.
Nope. No bend over. No bend over either.
We're at that part of the draft where they're trying to get us to say things.
Thank you, Joseph Mahoney. It's been glad having you here.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate it. Raiders is big, fast hands.
Yeah. I feel like he needs more time and more attention as from scouts. Playing in Latvia, nobody's looking at him. They all know that, hey, no other team is looking at him, so I can be patient on taking him. I don't have to waste a draft pick. I can take somebody we see with more upside that, there's a risk involved in not taking him. Rainer's Rulers, just wait a year. He's going to be in the draft next year, 3rd, 4th round pick.
Yeah. Carl, thanks, man. Appreciate your kind words, man. We try our best. We're into the 7th round, so we don't know, big details on a lot of these guys. I swear to God, Kieran. We're just gonna stop responding. One of these is gonna get us.
We were joking.
I'm gonna Google somebody and go shit. Right?
We were joking yesterday after the stream. We're like, we'll peek at the chat, and we're always so worried that we'll accidentally say the wrong thing, or somebody will have something, we'll misread it and say it, and you guys are getting us.
You guys are gonna get us on one of these.
Yeah.
Yes, Borden Horny not taken.
Yeah. Borden Horny, no.
Surprising. Not taken. Borden of the Horny clan. One of these is gonna get us one day.
Just time. Under scouting. There's guys. There are guys that that.
Don't make me come over there.
That maybe just due to lack of scouting, nobody watched him. They know, just like Rainer's Rulers. Are they good enough to maybe get drafted? Absolutely. But until they get scouted, just give them another year. They'll be above agers next year. I feel like this year there weren't a lot of above agers.
The funniest one of these was someone got Craig Button last year or 2 years ago with Lick Mysak.
Oh,
is R-L-I-C and an M-Y-S-A-k?
Yeah,
like Mishak.
Yeah, Mishak, because
someone had
Jan
Mishak. So what about his brother Lick? Right? And he's like, I don't know who Lick is. He actually responded on Twitter as I don't know Lick Mishak. And I'm like, oh my God, Craig Button got absolutely donked on, dude.
Lige Zimmerman. At that size, if you can move, I'm surprised more teams aren't going to take a chance on you. That skating, while you can teach players to skate, you can't teach 6'6" guys not to be giraffes. They're going to just be these big, tall, lanky guys, and if they can move and they have that natural athleticism, then you got to take it, because you can teach big skaters how to fix their form, but it can be hard. And a guy who's already naturally filled into their body and has the speed, you got to give it to him and say, hey, you've got NHL projection just as a depth role because you have the NHL speed and the NHL size. Yegor Velmakin.
I looked at a lot of goalies. I don't know who this is. I gotta see here. Yegor Velmakin. Who are you? Oh, he's an overager. That's why.
Yeah, Tyler Peddle.
I didn't look at any overagers.
Tyler Peddle, I am surprised. He was my top QMJHL forward this time last year. So he fell from being the best QMJHL player to just absolutely falling off the board completely. Because unless he gets drafted in the last two here. In the last one here, Cal Kungas, yes. Yeah, Velmakin's 5'7".
Oh, is he? Oh God, I missed that.
Control shift. Yeah.
He's 5'7".
No,
he's 5'6"
Clovis, what are you telling us?
You're screwing with me, Clovis. No, he's 6'2". He's an overager. Plays for Dynamo Minsk of the KHL, but actually no, he hasn't yet. He played for Buran.
Yeah,
mainly last year, but he's gonna play for Dynamo apparently next year.
Mm-hmm. Dynamo Minsk, not Dynamo Moscow.
Sorry.
Dynamo Minsk
the other
in Belarus. We were talking earlier about
team.
How the Belarusian team is not very good. It sucks.
Crispy Cock. Whoa, that's a great pick.
Ryan Smith. Yes. Any player not drafted will absolutely get the chance to be drafted next year. It works one of two ways. If a team drafts a player, then they get exclusive negotiation rights and they get exclusive rights to that player. But just being above agers, now that they're adults, they're also allowed to accept tryouts and contract offers.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of teams you'll start to see like prospect camps in the summer open for a lot of teams. The Leafs opens in a couple weeks, generally into July.
Spencer Sova?
Actually, a guy hasn't been drafted yet now is Panel-Fimis.
Panel-Fimis. 2 years in a row he's gone undrafted. And he's a guy who was invited to NHL teams' training camps where he could absolutely have been offered an entry-level contract. But the reason they don't is because they don't have as much control over the player unless they draft him. So if they offer him a contract here and he looks good, that's a player step into the NHL and maybe to another team. So, why would a team, I'm going to spend 3 years, waste a roster spot, develop this player so we can get to the NHL level, and then walk. And it gives you less control over the player. So really drafting the guy is the best way if you really do see a future and you think that, hey, I want to control him. So
Tom Fitzgerald traded New Jersey 7th to Nashville so that David Poile would have his final career draft pick. Mm-hmm. That was cool. Yeah, that was really cool. I saw that. Mm-hmm. I didn't think about Tom Fitzgerald doing it, but yeah, just getting a pick for David Poile to say thank you, get a standing ovation, blah blah, all that stuff is
in
pretty
Nashville
cool
too.
In Nashville, it's pretty cool. That's pretty cool for David Poile, who's been the only GM that franchise has ever seen.
Yep. Passing off
Did
to the second
Vegas
now.
just
oh my God,
trade
they
the last pick in the draft? How dare you?
Columbus.
Flopping sevens.
And now Columbus is on the clock instead.
Columbus really wants a guy. So this was Nash first captain, so I mean...
yeah.
True.
That's a great connection.
Oh, wait, was he? Their first captain? Oh, that was Legwand.
Legwand. That was David Legwand. Maybe he was his longest as the second one?
You get out of here. Oh, it was their first.
Yeah.
Why did I think about Legwand? Just must be their first pick. Legwand was never their captain. I'm tripping.
Really? Oh. He was the longest running Nashville Predators. He was alternate captain, though. Yeah. This is good. I like when he came over for Ottawa.
Dude, Columbus just take.
Tyler Peddle. There you go.
Whoa!
The top
sneaks in.
Arguably the best QMJHL player at the very beginning of the season. Everybody had him pretty high up. I'm surprised he fell this far. And I guess Columbus said, you know what? If he's on the board, we want him. He's still there. So
yeah, they just went, screw it, we're going to get him.
And
definitely dropped a lot from people.
He did not. Yeah, it was a smart pick. 7th round, very last pick. He's a goal scorer. A little bit too one-dimensional for my liking. But you know what? For Columbus, the potential's absolutely there. You got to take a chance on the 7th round on a guy like him. And how often has the very last pick in the draft become an NHL player?
Good question.
Once, I think. There's only one player.
I can only think of Patrick Hornquist.
Yeah, it was only Patrick Hornquist.
I think the final pick.
Yeah. Tyler Peddle has a chance to do it again. Nice. I really do think that there's a chance here for him to play in the NHL, just being the last pick. There's such a low chance of that happening. I think it's pretty cool.
Wow. We did the whole draft.
This was the 2023 NHL Entry Draft. Thank you for everybody who joined us for not only our stream on day 1 for round 1, for this stream, rounds 2 through 7. We got through all of it. Thank you so much for everybody. Not only if you stopped by for a second, those who were here the whole time, people who watched our mock drafts, first and second round, people who've been with us for years, and we're doing this every year. We love it. Thank you so much. There's a bunch of names from past years. I know like Jake's in here, Janest is in here.
Upsan was in here earlier.
Upsan was in here. Yeah. We got so many names. Thank you guys so much for all the years. We love hockey. We love talking hockey. We're not going to stop. So, hit like, hit subscribe. We're going to keep going forever until we both drop. We're going to be, posting draft stuff. We love the draft. This is our Christmas time of the year. We're so happy.
Yeah, I love just watching the next generation possibly of hockey is my favorite part of being a hockey fan is just the prospect aspect of things. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, you
Ryan
newcomers.
Smith, Clovis TV, Walt, appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out. We had a really, really successful little stream here. This was fun. I enjoyed this. Subscribe to the channel. Hang out with us some more, maybe a little bit. We'll see if we have some draft recap kind of videos coming out to channel.
Probably
we might do like an Ottawa Toronto kind of vibe, being Ottawa and Leafs fans. But yeah.
And because they didn't draft a lot, like who did they get?
Yeah, who did they get? We want to really kind of deep dive into some players. But yeah, thanks so much for watching.
Now we're gonna end it here.
Peace.
Take care.
Peace out, everybody.
Thanks.